Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
This show's pretty rockin', huh?
Yeah, I'm so glad my State Farm agent helped me go.
Huh?
My State Farm agent. They help me with options to personalize my auto insurance to get a great rate that fits my budget, so I don't have to give up the things I love.
Wow. Hey, so do you think I could get your State Farm agent's number?
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Individual premiums and budgets will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Davis Plumbing is a locally owned company specializing in a wide range of plumbing services for both commercial and residential customers. Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and has a team of experienced plumbers ready to help you with any project, big or small. Customer satisfaction and peace of mind is their number one priority. So for any commercial or residential project, give Davis Plumbing a call today at 402-525-6922. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Husker Nation. Now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put him in the aisle.
Touchdown, Nebraska! Does he have enough? Is it long enough? It's going to be tipped and caught! It's caught!
How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's on the way!
Totally unbelievable. It's game day in Lincoln, America. And this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show.
Check this out.
The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
That is right. Welcome in. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show at 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. No Jake Sorensen today to kick things off. Nick Sainer with you. We'll be joined by Steve Sipple from West Lafayette in less than 5 minutes. Called him at 8 o'clock. He was having a conversation with somebody related to Husker football. So he said, give me 3 to 5 minutes. So that was at 8 a.m. So he'll be joining us here in just a moment. For the time being, Austin Orman is in here as well. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by our friends at A1 Automotive. Always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L Street here in Lincoln. Make sure you guys come out and hang out with us, even though it's not a home game. The first time this season that Nebraska is not playing at Memorial Stadium. Kind of bizarre that they started out with the first 4 games of the season at home, because that has not been the case in the recent years for Nebraska football. But they are here. They were here for the first 4 games. Now they go on the road to West Lafayette and face off against Purdue at 11 a.m. today. You guys can always chime in, 402-464-5685 on the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line. Those are both open, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961. All right, Austin, we are 3 hours, give or take a few minutes, from kickoff between Nebraska and the Purdue Boilermakers in West Lafayette. Before we get to Steve Sipple here in just 2 minutes or so, early thoughts, impressions on what could go down in West Lafayette today.
I think it's a really good spot for Nebraska to be in. Purdue is kind of licking its wounds, right? Gotten gashed on the ground the last 2 weeks by Notre Dame and by Oregon State. And that's really why I like this situation for Nebraska, Nick. Even if Nebraska is not a run-heavy team, Nebraska is going to have to come out and stop the run. Something Northern Iowa showed it could do somewhat well against the Huskers, and then Illinois did late in the game. I think this is a mentality game for the Huskers against a dangerous, desperate, dare I say, opponent, right? Purdue doesn't think it's as bad as its record, right? It didn't look good against Oregon State. Tackling was not good. Offense was out of sync. So for a team like Nebraska, who I think is more physically talented, this is a great opportunity to work the brain muscle, right? To figure out how much mental toughness there is on this team, how much of an ability to create its own energy on the road, to stand up underneath a maybe not the most physically intimidating opponent Nebraska is going to face, but I think it's the right style of opponent, the right time for the game, that if Nebraska wins this game, I don't care really what the score is. Yeah, you want it bigger than smaller in the margin of victory, but it's a great opportunity for Nebraska to answer some of the questions that we've had about this team over the first 4 weeks of the season, especially the last 2.
How about this part? I mean, this is something I was thinking about on the drive into the station today, is Nebraska has been, is fortuitous here when talking about after a loss like last Friday. You could have been dealt Ohio State. You could have been dealt Michigan. You could have been dealt a road game with Penn State. But yet, after Nebraska, frankly, their first big test of how do they respond to adversity. You got to go on the road, yes, but you have to face off against potentially the worst team in the Big Ten Conference. There's a way to look at this glass half full and say, yeah, you know what? Nebraska got a pretty lucky bounce with the schedule. Even though we hate the schedule discussion, they somewhat did with being able to go to a place like Purdue.
Right, and even getting Illinois at home to kick off Big Ten play, you get your Big Ten opener at home for the first time since Rutgers in 2017, right? You didn't take advantage of it. You lost that game, and that's unfortunate. But for as much as Husker fans like complaining about schedule makers this, schedule makers that, and yes, Nebraska's been given and dealt a tough hand more often than not in the Big Ten, but you have an opportunity here because you don't have the toughest road. Maybe it looks a little tougher in retrospect with Illinois being a ranked team, with Indiana popping up. Rutgers just beat Washington last night. So maybe the schedule looks tougher now than it did before the year. But Purdue looks like we thought they might before the year. With all the issues, Ryan Walters is still kind of searching for answers, I think, at Purdue. So no, it's not ideal that you dropped your Big Ten opener to Illinois. But in terms of the ability to bounce back, it looks like you got a little bit of a gift if you can unwrap it and not tear through it.
Let's go to the Allo VIP line. The VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. And we're joined by Steve Sipple from West Lafayette. Sip, what's happening?
You called right as I put a donut in my mouth. But yeah, how's everything there?
It is good. It is good. We were discussing Austin and myself, but now it's just me and you. We were discussing just a moment ago that, you know what, when looking at this, trying to look glass half full type of mentality here, after Nebraska loses their first game of the season, they could have been dealt a road game to Penn State. They could have been dealt a road game to Columbus, or even a matchup with Indiana, who's undefeated and trying to go 5-0 for the first time in literally forever. But yet they're facing off against a Purdue team that's certainly not one of the strongest in the Big Ten Conference and has a lot of question marks all over the place.
Well, yeah, you probably got the easiest Big Ten team. I mean, if you just want to get right down to it. So, yeah, in that way, it's fortuitous. It doesn't mean it'll be easy because, I don't know, I don't think there's a lot of easy Power 4 games, period.
Yeah.
Especially on the road. And so I don't personally think it's going to be easy, but, yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I could probably name 17 teams in the Big Ten that would have been worse, or 16.
Yeah.
It'd been so. Yeah, it's definitely fortuitous in that regard.
I guess, Sip, when you look at the Nebraska defense, right, and we heard so much from Tony White, and there was so much this week about the standard and not living up to the expectation, and they weren't happy with how Nebraska executed. I think that's a valid statement after Nebraska's game against Illinois. When you looked at or when you look ahead at this game against Purdue, what is the most important thing Nebraska has to do defensively? Because you look at the running backs, and obviously Devin Maccabee's one that tore Nebraska up a couple of years ago. And then they added Reggie Love in the offseason, the transfer running back from Illinois. When you look at Nebraska's defense, what is priority number one for them when facing an offense with Hudson Card and obviously those two names that I just mentioned in the backfield?
Well, I mean, I think it's always stop the run. I mean, it's no matter what, but it's just sometimes it's more pronounced in some games than others. And in this game, it's really pronounced. It's really important because that's Purdue's strength. Purdue they're not blessed with a great receiving core. Obviously, I mean, look at Card's last two games. I mean, 42% completion percentage, 48% completion percentage. But Devin Maccabee, as you mentioned, 2 years ago ran for 178 yards on 30 carries. Reggie Love's a veteran running back, transferred from Illinois, senior. They're pretty good. I mean, they run outside zone and they'll try to get the corner, but Maccabee's really good at cutting up. I mean, that's what I remember most about him. The way he cuts up field is kind of scary. And come on, we know what's going on here. And it's not just after the Illinois game, it's after the last two games. This is the conversation that's most pertinent is you can't allow Maccabee, you can't stop him for 2 and let him bleed out for 4, or stop him for 4 and let him bleed out for 7, and then have Purdue have second and 3s, or second and 6s even. You gotta get that under control immediately, and to me that's the game. Make them, and it'd be really nice if you could get a lead on Purdue, which you should be able to do, and then make them have to throw. Because I just think they'll have a hard time doing that.
Once again, we're joined by Sip from West Lafayette on the Allo VIP line. The VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. I guess, Sip, on the defensive side, obviously Tommy Hill got banged up last week. What's the update with those guys? Do we know anything about with a guy like Tommy Hill? What's the update with him availability wise?
Oh, he's here. I mean, he'll be here. I think he's available.
Yeah.
He's here. I know he's on he traveled. So, there's some interesting, I think you'll see Javin Wright. He traveled. Who else are you wondering about?
No, it's honestly those two guys. I think those are the couple, because when you look at maybe what Nebraska could get Purdue uncomfortable, if they can do what you just said and get out to a lead, it's going to force Purdue to do some things that they're maybe a little more uncomfortable with, and maybe that's throwing the football. And then you wonder about, there were so many missed assignments last week per Tony White and per Matt Rule that you wonder, you just wonder who you have on that back side to be able to control that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in that defensive conversation. I also think sometimes, I don't know, Nick, I'm just talking about myself. I'm not talking about you or anybody else. I got to guard against overreacting. They lost in overtime to Illinois, but and it wasn't like Illinois was, they didn't get 600 yards. But it's just the last two games in the tackling. That's kind of what it boils down to me. I don't think they're getting blown out of the gaps a little too often, which that's something to watch. But yeah, now going back to, I'm sorry, I veered away from Tommy Hill and Javin Wright. I don't know the extent of Javin Wright's availability. And it's not even official. I think he's here. He'll suit up, but I don't know if you'll see Javin Wright be a major factor. I don't know if you'll see him start, but if he's on the travel roster, which I'm 95% certain he is, then you bring him for a reason. With Tommy Hill, Nick, it's just pain tolerance. That's what it comes down to. He's got plantar fasciitis. It just doesn't go away. That is just a pain tolerance injury. And listen, you just got to watch, see how he is. I don't know that. I guess I don't look at it like he's here, everything's okay. I don't. Plantar fasciitis isn't just going away. So. Yeah. We'll see what it looks like. Okay.
Sip, I stayed on the injury front real quick. I was thinking about this earlier this week that, man, Nebraska's been, for the most part, pretty healthy. I mean, obviously, like the glaring and the flashing light is at left tackle, and we're going to see, Gunnar Gatula get the start today. And Henry Latofsky at right guard, who, by the way, I was doing the math. This is going to be his 30th game as a Husker. This is his 7th start, but 30th game as a Husker, which is somewhere that Nebraska, from a depth standpoint, and I'm veering off the subject of the injuries, from a depth standpoint, was not going to be in 2 or 3 years ago. It just kind of talks about and speaks to maybe the lumps that they've had to take to get guys to where now, Micah Mazuka, what we hear is not there. I don't know if you have any more information on that, but for the most part, Henry Latofsky's getting the start, and it's going to be his 30th, game in action for Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Latofsky is very important. I mean, partly because he can play multiple positions. If it doesn't go well for Gunnar at tackle, I mean, you could move him there. I think they'd move Ben Scott there before they would move Henry. But Henry becomes very key because Mazuka's not in the picture. He won't be in the picture this week. I mean, the question becomes, will he be in the? It's a question.
Yeah,
it's definitely a question. Whether he'll be in the picture going forward, but he won't be in the picture today. Mazuka, Micah Mazuka, and that's big. I mean, he's a very good player. I mean, Mazuka's a very good player, and I think I don't mind saying on the radio that his future with the program's cloudy. But we just kind of got to wait for official word from the head coach on that one.
Well, okay, so now back to what I was initially saying about injuries. Nebraska's been
pretty fortunate, and especially in comparison to last year at some of the skill positions. And knock on wood, as I say this, they've stayed relatively healthy through the first 4 games of the season. I was looking at some availability reports from some other programs that are not named Nebraska, and like Oklahoma is down there. They're starting 5 receivers on the road at Auburn, and they're starting a backup quarterback after Jackson Arnold gets benched down in Norman. And staying on the topic of Nebraska, I guess it goes to show they've been pretty fortunate with the injury bug to this point. Like they've unlike last year where you lost wide receivers and guys were banged up, and then throw on top of that the quarterback questions with last year's room. They're in a much different spot this year than they were last year.
Oh yeah, they've held up well injury wise, for sure. Not perfect, as you mentioned. Left tackle's the glaring one, but yeah, generally speaking, it's been good that way. Knock on wood. Did you say Oklahoma's down 5 receivers?
They're down there starting their first 5 receivers today on the road at Auburn.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
That's remarkable.
And Auburn's turning back to Peyton Thorne, who's their initial starting quarterback too.
Yeah, that's 0-2 in the SEC is what that is. But okay, yeah, Nebraska's in pretty good shape. I'm trying to think through if there's anybody else that you'd worry about injury-wise in this game not playing. No, I don't think there is.
Well, because so last year, obviously, at the wide receiver position, staying at that point, and I get reminded these last 2 weeks when I was watching Nebraska on offense specifically, because as we know, they have a guy that can throw the ball, and they like to allow Dylan Raiola to throw that football, and it shows maybe how important it was for Nebraska to add a couple of guys like Jamal Banks and Isaiah Nair in the offseason, because not only did it add to the wide receiver room, but I think it took a lot of the pressure off of guys like Jalen Lloyd. And I think it took a lot of the pressure off of some other guys in that room to maybe perform. And yeah, pressure is good to a certain extent, but I think last week we really saw why they wanted to go out and get Jamal Banks. Man, it was consistency. It was durability. It was stability. 9 catches on 9 targets. You can't ask for much more from a quarterback, and then from a wide receiver as well. It just showed the importance, I think, last week, especially against Illinois. And we've seen flashes earlier in the year of just why it was so important for them to add those 2 guys, especially.
Well, they added their 2 best receivers.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it does allow some young guys maybe to develop at a more comfortable rate, I guess. I mean, it's interesting, the conversation, because if you talk to Jalen Lloyd or Malachi Coleman or Demetrius Bell, who's hurt, I'm trying to think of the younger receivers, they'd probably say, no, we want to develop in games.
Exactly.
I want to catch 9 passes in a game. But I mean, I guess I look at it a little differently in that they had to go out and fortify the offense, fortify the position, but get guys in here for Dylan Raiola. To me, that's what it's more about than anything. It wasn't fortifying depth. It was going to get 2 guys that would maybe be your best receivers. You didn't know at the time, but that's what they are. I mean, they're Nebraska's 2 best receivers. Yeah. And that's the transfer portal era. It can work that way. It can work that, you know what, Nick, it can work that way again this offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask me about where do they need to go in the portal, well, you always want to go get bigs. Okay, you always want to go get big players, linemen, both sides. But also, if you look at this now, you're losing Banks and Nayor. I think you better go get at least one guy that's kind of like that, in that 6'3", 6'4" range, 210 to 225 range.
Yeah.
A guy that's maybe caught 50 passes at the college level, and preferably Power 5. They didn't. I'd give the receivers coach Garrett McGuire a lot of credit for going out and getting those guys. They're huge. I mean, they'll be big today. They're big every week. It kind of does, though. Malachi's got a red shirt. If those guys weren't here, he wouldn't be red shirt. Mm-hmm. He'd be out there. You'd probably see Quinn Clark is another one I didn't mention. Quinn Clark is highly thought of in the program. He's a big guy, 6'5". but now he can kind of develop at a more comfortable rate.
Steve Sipple with us on the Allo VIP line. Sip, a couple more before we get out of here and pass it along to the other guys. When you look at Nebraska's running game today against Purdue, I feel like it's a lot of the mentality maybe that Illinois had last week against Nebraska, where if it doesn't work in the first quarter or first half to maybe the extent that you like it, eventually stick with it. Like stick with the running game, because this feels like a big opportunity for especially a Dante Dowdell.
It does. It really does. I mean, Purdue's given up 700 rushing yards in the last two games. I know everybody's got to say, yeah, but Sip, those teams ran quarterbacks. Yeah, to a certain extent they did. But no, you're right. I just think the formula is pretty clear here. Yeah, you try to get that part going, get Dowdell going. And then I'd say Emma Johnson too, and Ramirez always going to play a lot. But I'd say those two kind of hammerbacks. I still look at Emmett as a little bit of a hammerback. So yeah, I'm totally. I that's going to be really interesting. Interesting from the standpoint too that if you can't run it today, if you're Nebraska, then it's a red flag. This is sort of a red flag day for me. If they can't run the ball against Purdue, that's a red flag. If you can't stop Purdue's offense, that's a red flag going forward. So. You just want to see Nebraska get this thing under control have it in control pretty much all afternoon.
Yeah, Sip, I was surfing through the game notes yesterday that Keith always sends out to the media guys. And I was, Keith Mann, Keith Mann. And I was startled, but not shocked that the last time Nebraska had a 100-yard rusher in a single game, it was Chubba Purdy at Wisconsin last year.
Oh yeah, which begs the question: when was the last running back that got 100?
Yeah, right.
I don't know who that is.
I mean, I would imagine it would be the Anthony Grants potentially.
Yeah, last year at some point.
Yeah.
I wonder. I mean, Dowdell hasn't had a 100-yard rushing game as a college player, only 2 years limited, but. Yeah, I'd like to see him get that first 100-yard rushing performance today.
And he feels like a guy that they and we saw this to an extent in the Colorado game, I believe, where he had 20 carries. He feels like a guy that can get the sustainable carries, but then they followed that game up with only having him 6 carries against Northern Iowa in that 34-3 win. So it's just kind of been, I don't want to call it bizarre, just kind of interesting to kind of follow along, I suppose.
I guess. I think that it's gotten to the point now, though, where they will ride him.
Yeah.
Matt Rule said it in his press conference that they wanted his press conference this week that they wanted to get him 25 carries against Illinois. Okay, that was that was telling to me. I mean, I know going in that I'll just say the Dowdell camp thought 17 to 20 carries against Illinois. That's where we're at now with him, I think. I just think today, Nick, I guess I'd be surprised if he didn't get at least 15, You never know how the game's going to go, but this seems like a game where he'd get 15 to 20 carries or maybe a little bit more than that.
All right, Sip, if I ask you a prediction, what are you saying?
I think I've been saying 34 to 24, and I would probably just stick there.
All right.
I don't think it's going to be real easy and it's sort of in a broad sense. I just respect the Big Ten so much, and I just don't think it's ever going to be real easy. But this is probably as easy as it's going to get from here on out.
Once again, that's Steve Sipple on the Allo VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. All right, Sip, hey, I know West Lafayette is not the easiest place to get to, so glad you guys got there safely. We'll talk to you soon. Safe travels back, man.
Hey, good talking to you, Nick.
It's always good to talk to you too, Sipple.
See you later.
See ya. There he is, Steve Sipple joining us from West Lafayette. This segment brought to you by A1 Automotive, always honest answers. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street here in Lincoln on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, getting you ready for Nebraska and Purdue kickoff at 11 a.m. later today. So just 2.5 hours, give or take a few minutes away from right now. We're going to take a break, hand things over to Jay, DP, and the rest of the gang here on 93.7 The Ticket. Don't go anywhere, 464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today. We'll step aside, come right back on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best boxing on Saturday, October 5th with Roughnecks at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 8 bouts are scheduled for the night, including the main event of Dwayne Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks in the professional middleweight championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Lincoln Federal Savings Bank, personal banking like you remember.
Home. It's more than a place, it's a feeling. This is Eric Bertrand with Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. If you're looking for a place to call home, call me. Let's review your financing options and get you into the home of your dreams. Proudly serving Husker fans.
Personal banking like you remember.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Ready to hit the road in style? Liberty First Credit Union is revving up your ride with unbeatable auto loan specials. Cruise away with rates as low as 4.79% APR for 48 months on a 2020 or newer vehicle. Need a longer term? No worries. They've got you covered with 4.89 APR for 60 months and 4.99 APR for 72 months. Hurry, these rates are cruising fast, so don't get left in the dust. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Credit factors apply. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P. General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety.
What up? We are here, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Our segment is brought to you by General Fire and Safety. Are you starting a business in a brand new building? Call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire and safety system that fits your specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Go to lincolngfs.com for more information. This is Jay Foreman. We got Harrison on the ones and twos. DP's to my left, my partner from old school. And then we got a new school guy, Chris Kalorvik. Can you hear yourself? I know you can't. You got the banana in the tailpipe. So here's what we'll do, Chris. I'll pass these headphones over to you.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. And Harrison, I'll stay on the same mic.
All right, sounds good.
Here we go. Hey, Harrison. Yeah. Before we really enter the proper introduction, Chris Kalorvik.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and hit that music, bro. Let's get the party started. Let's get the party started.
Game day in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Let's go.
My mic's working okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Let's go. Jay Foreman, bring in a new linebacker,
Yeah,
man.
You got Chris coming in. He's getting his feet wet here. Like many people, he's played at Nebraska. Welcome in, Chris.
Happy to be here. Excited.
You got present day experience, obviously. Dealing with going and playing in West Lafayette. I always say it's probably one of the worst places to go play. It looks boring as hell. So tell the people what it's like when you have to be self-motivated. I think this game, you have to have your own, you guys call it juice, but you just got to, show up and kick ass. But talk about what it's like when you have to go to a place like West Lafayette to get yourself going.
It's a little different. It's not, you don't have the tailgating outside the stadium. You don't have people out there cheering you on when the buses are coming in. You don't even have people really chirping you because their fans don't care that much. So it's just a little different. So you got to get the music locked in, or you got to talk to your teammates. You got to get yourself fired up. You're right. It's definitely different.
Yeah. Well, obviously when you played Illinois and you played, Illinois has been Illinois forever, and Brett Bielema is Brett Bielema. And so you've played him. And obviously at times, from a linebacker's perspective, obviously you being a former player, but always a black shirt or whatever. Second level, at least one or two guys in particular struggled a little bit. Talk about, even DP asked me about it yesterday, when there's that kind of gray area between player and scheme and how you can make an adjustment on the fly, especially on the sidelines.
I think it really helps to have guys that are confident in their abilities who are able to do that on the field, because not everybody is. And I think one guy that really is Tommy Hill. And I think we were missing. I know he didn't play the whole game last week.
Right.
And I think that was a big deal for us, because that's somebody who when you're a corner, sometimes you have to jump a route, and it's
Right.
risky. And that's a guy who, since he's been there, because I got there around the same time he did, and since the day he got there, he was always jumping routes. Like, he would get burned sometimes, but I think it helps where the opposing quarterback knows that that's a potential, so it kind of scares him a little bit. So I thought the Illinois quarterback was playing a little looser last week because Tommy wasn't out there, so he didn't have that threat.
The fear. Yeah. Talk now on to Purdue. They got where they have two running backs and one that notoriously, even from 2 years ago, when Bill Bush took over as defensive coordinator, is giving Nebraska trouble. Even last year when we beat him, he was getting off a little bit, but he was a little injured in Muckabee and likes to muck things up. What is it about his running style that Nebraska needs to focus on to really stymie his progress today?
I think it's going to be a gritty type run game. It's not a you can't hit him high. You have to go low on him. You have to be sound in your tackling. And I think you got to be tough. I think the D-line's got to play well, and they have to get penetration on him. If that D-line doesn't get penetration, he's going to be able to work with the linebackers. And if you're not getting penetration, then he gets a free run at the line of scrimmage, and that makes it a lot harder for the linebackers.
Yeah. One of the things that I was trying to talk to people this week about the having a clear picture and not get caught up in the wash. It's easy for me to say it. I obviously played it, long and just see it. And I always say when linebackers are struggling, wouldn't say struggling, but when it's not going your way, sometimes you can lose vision. Talk about how important it is, especially as a linebacker, to have good eyes, which lead to your feet and hands, and then obviously leading you to making plays.
I think it takes a lot of experience to be able to slow your mind down in the game, because it's really about your mind. Because if your mind's racing and running fast, your feet are going to be running fast. And then when you're going to jump at stuff you shouldn't jump at. But I think it just takes taking a deep breath, maybe being a little older guy that's got some experience who can take a deep breath and see the whole field instead of jumping at little things that he doesn't need to be jumping at.
And when you when you saw a defense that was pretty, was good last year, pretty consistent, right? Besides, let's just say Michigan, and I guess I'll throw Michigan State in there just because they probably didn't live up to their own expectations, but generally was pretty consistent because I think Michigan State scored 17 points and still found a way to win. So then, as we know, as defensive players, we always look at the other guys like you need to be able to walk and chew gum. Right? I mean, let's be honest, Chris. I mean, let's just have a moment of truth. Defense is the only reason why we win games, because offense sometimes, whether it's too cold or the guys hit too hard or things aren't going their way, and they're not getting that, they generally don't. Defense always generally has to bail everybody out. For a defense that probably didn't play up to their expectations last week, and some of the guys, I know a lot of the guys as well. But I want to dive into what the mentality or what you want to see from the defense today here in about 2 hours to know that, okay, last Friday night was a fluke. They're back on track.
I think ideally this comes out as a wake-up call. Last week is not who we are. Last week is not the defense that we are. This is a wake-up call. And if we continue to see struggles that carry over from last week, then it might be an issue. But I think it can be seen as a wake-up call because, let's be honest, they did play really well the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 points to Northern Iowa, shutout in the first half against Colorado. They were playing really well.
Yeah.
So I think this really could be just a wake-up call, and that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
Where I think they needed to kind of get their heads on straight. Maybe they got a little too cocky, didn't prepare the right way because they won the first 3 games, and I think it might just be a wake-up call.
Talk about how hard it is for you guys to deal with success. Why? I mean, I don't. We don't understand it, but one of the blessing and curse at Nebraska is what you get, what you're accustomed to, and then having 3 good weeks, and then dookie down your leg per se in a easier game that you should. Talk about that from a college athlete's perspective. Why has it been so hard around here? And obviously there's a difference in staffs and there's talent and stuff like that. But just over your time here, short time here, what is it a leadership thing? Is it a individual type of thing? Because a lot of times, defensively, like 9 guys could be doing the right thing. You get 2 that do their own thing. 9 guys, all 11 look like they haven't been doing what they're supposed to do.
I think it does take a coach who has a good finger on the pulse, who can see when the team needs to be cut down a little bit, where he needs to get on them. And I think with how Nebraska fans are, with the fan base and social media, they know how they're doing. They know that they get told every day. They go on their phone, they read Twitter. They know how the team's doing. And a lot of times it takes a coach who, when they're getting told how great they are, it takes a coach to say, hey, we messed this up, we messed that up. And then on the flip side, when it's not going well, it takes a coach who can see that and then kind of go the opposite direction and say, hey, we're good. Like, we're going to be all right. So it takes a coach who's willing to kind of go against the common opinion a little bit and say, hey, when we're doing well, I think I kind of need to cut you guys down a little bit, chop your ego down a little bit, and show you, hey, we got a lot of work to do, and what everybody's saying about you might not necessarily be true. And I mean, it's you win 3 games against some not great teams, and all of a sudden you're ranked because you're Nebraska. And I think it takes a coach who can
put it in perspective. Yeah. And in perspective today, you played Purdue. You've seen that they struggled. You've seen Nebraska. You've seen that obviously being able to finally score some points, and defense is going to probably come back and bounce back. What do you think what's your score prediction for today?
I got Nebraska 31, and I got Purdue 14.
So 17 points.
I think
right?
I think a 17-point win is.
Yeah.
I think Vegas has them at 10.5, but I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about spreads.
Nothing.
I make people a lot of money, but I don't know anything about spreads. I was going to ask you a smooth cover and a half. That's what we call it at the barbershop, when you cover and it's a little bit of half of the points on top of it, it's cherry on top. So let me ask you this: to say it holds true, right? Nebraska wins by 17. Would that make you? Then that would then you feel good?
I would feel good about it if that was the case. I think a good bounce back win, because in the past I think we've kind of spiraled after a loss where things got worse and fingers got pointed, things got blamed, and I think bouncing back and winning by covering the spread in a half or even more, I think solidifies we are a really solid team.
Got you. Well, you haven't met Harrison yet, have you?
Yeah, I have. I've been on Chance's show before.
Okay. He is a you ever had a substitute teacher at Northern Iowa in Nebraska?
Yeah, we're 3 minutes over. We don't got time for this.
You know when they are on the syllabus to the T? That's Harrison. With that being said, appreciate Chris Glorick coming in. Welcome to the club.
I appreciate you having me on.
A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate. We are going to break, and we'll be back on time. Jay Foreman, Chris Glorick, DP, and my man Harrison. We'll be right back.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
It's the best time of the year to order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower from Landmark Implement during the early order program. Hay harvest is a race against time, Order a new John Deere self-propelled windrower to harvest your hay quickly and efficiently while promoting quick dry down for quality hay. Now is the time to lock in the best price of the year. Contact your local Landmark location for full details on a new self-propelled windrower and experience the Landmark difference.
Shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
Relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals.
All right, welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. We got the Huskers on the road for the first time this season as they are playing Purdue, 11 a.m. kickoff. Joining me, we got Rico, but first, this segment is sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators, and more, Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. SunbeltRentals.com. All right, Rico, joining me here as like I said, we got Purdue for the first road game today for the Huskers. Just quick, give me your thoughts heading into this one. Some of the quick keys to victory, as we only got about 10 minutes on this segment.
Quick keys to victory, and it's going to sound extremely cliche, and I remember hearing it earlier this week on early break, and it's kind of funny because every team wants to, but Nebraska needs to start fast. I understand everybody wants to. That's the plan for every team. Of course, you want to start fast. You don't want to start slow. Give them 14 points and then say, okay, now we should start playing ball. But it's going to be imperative for Nebraska to, although this might not be the most hostile environment that they're going to play. Actually, it definitely won't be the most hostile environment. But playing in West Lafayette, again, it's still a road game for your true freshman quarterback. His first one in college, his first one in conference in the Big Ten. You want to kind of quiet the crowd down and get him especially into a groove early. You want the offense to be rolling. You want to establish yourself in the run game and physically in the trenches on both sides of the ball. If you can get the run game going for Nebraska early, whether that be Dante, Emmett, Ramir, whoever you decide to play in this one.
That part.
Whoever you decide to play in this one, that will make Dylan's job much easier, and he'll be able to distribute the ball with more accuracy because he'll be under less duress. You noticed in that Illinois game, as his process started getting sped up, he started trying to, at least in my mind, make plays that he was able to make in high school. The running back and getting away from the defenders, spinning out of tackles and launching the ball down the field. He'll probably be able to do that as he goes along in his college career, but this early on, he's still getting used to the speed and physicality of the college game, and Illinois took full advantage of that. You saw that the 4 straight sacks in overtime where he tried to spin away from it and lost much more yardage than he probably should have. Sometimes you just got to eat it. You can't keep running backwards and give those up. So if they can get Dylan comfortable early in this game, I think Nebraska is going to have a really, really nice shot at taking Purdue down. And that's offensively. On defense, it's just physicality. It's being physical and speeding up Hudson Card's process, because this is a guy, and you've seen Nebraska before in the past struggle with running quarterbacks. He's not somebody who's going to, drop 170 rushing yards on you.
No.
But he's a guy who's going to be able to extend the play and get the ball to his right now tight end, who's their leading receiver with
he
10
doesn't
receptions.
like to drop back. I think the last game he only threw for 17 times. So they are not a pro style offense by any means.
They want to run the ball. I mean, they have a defensive coordinator, a former defensive coordinator as their head coach. They want to play defense. They want to run the ball. They want to be a physical team as well. And they've got crazy legs, Devin Mockabee, the former walk-on who torched Nebraska two years ago.
Yeah.
And they have Reggie Love III, the transfer from Illinois, as their backup running back. You imagine having Reggie Love as a backup running back? That's ridiculous. So defensively, again, being physical, shutting down the run for Purdue, and forcing Hudson Card to throw the ball, because he was it was under 65%. He was under 60% last year throwing the ball. So if you can get Purdue to air it out, you'll have a much better chance in this one.
Yeah. And real quick here, I'll give my quick key points. It looks like we do got the captain on stream, and I'll quick give mine, and we'll bring in the captain to hear his thoughts on it. But yeah, we're talking about Dylan Royal. What was interesting is the Illinois took advantage of his, what do you want to call it? His when he gets rushed, he likes to step up in the pocket, which is a great thing for the quarterback to do. He likes to step up, does not like to scramble outside. You saw in the second half, especially late, that's where the pressure was coming from.
Yep.
Right down the middle, because they know that's where Dylan Royal likes to step up when he feels that pressure. So you saw that a lot. And for the defense, yeah, same thing. You got to start just as efficient as the offense. You look at that Illinois game last year, it stops on a goal line stop. Nebraska's defense, he kind of felt the game swing from there. The defense, if you can shut down that first scripted drive from Purdue, you feel pretty good about your odds, because that puts them in a wreck. All right, let's go ahead and hear from the captain himself. We got Vershawn Jackson joining us through the stream. Vershawn Jackson, we only got about 5 minutes here, so I'm going to just quick ask you, give me your thoughts for the game, and I'll get your prediction at the end.
As you can see, I got this monster on my shirt, right? I didn't put no Nebraska on. I didn't put no N on. I'm not putting any of that on today. Today is going to be about those guys getting their inner monster, letting that inner monster out, getting upset. I want to see our guys play lights out, play a little bit more emotional, play a little bit more with more fire, with more I don't give a ute. That kind of mindset, I think, is what we've been missing, and they've got to pull that out of themselves today. They've got to. It's an early game. You got to wake up. So they already been up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So now it's about who's going to pull the inner monster out of them early at 11 o'clock. They should be upset about what happened with Illinois, that Illinois somehow, some way got away with a free victory. Now it's a chance to get some get backs. You get to get your lick back. Today is the day. I hope we do it.
Absolutely. And I mean, Vershawn, what is that like? Because you got a morning game, and you're right. It's the first road game. It's also an environment, not to put any shame on Purdue, but it's not going to be the craziest, loudest environment walking into it. It's going to feel like a somewhat of a sleepy morning game. As a player, how do you get that mindset where you're just at 100 come kickoff?
I mean, I think that's developed in practice. It's developed anytime you put the pads on. It don't matter what time you play. It could be 12 o'clock at night. The time that you play doesn't matter. It's how you play. These guys got to wake up and figure out how to play football. Not, you know what? If 11 guys ain't flying around on defense, they don't know how to play football, right? If on offense we're not making holes and we're glancing off of blocks, or we're throwing lookout blocks, or we're supposed to be blocking the end man and we're looking around like, where's our guy? Where's our guy? If we're doing those types of things, then it's gonna be disappointing today. And we'll get it early. But I think if you control the tight end for Purdue, if you can on offense, if we can control their tight end, which that's all to me, that's all they got. But you give a person like, again, I told y'all this against Illinois. You give a team a little bit of breathing room to think that they can win, and they beat you. You don't let teams like this hang around into the fourth quarter. You put them in the dirt in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, so in the fourth quarter, we can get the young guys some work.
Yeah, I hope they got the same energy up there right now that you're bringing this morning. Final thing I got for you, then I want to get your prediction. You don't give me the exact score, but what do you want to see from Satterfield today, right? You look at Purdue's defense, they're susceptible to giving up the run. They haven't, Oregon State rushed over 300 yards against them, but you also got a quote-unquote generational quarterback in Dylan Raiola, who has looked really good thus far. What do you want to see in Satterfield to game plan to try to attack this Purdue defense?
Well, Purdue has proven all season that they can't stop the run. And I know that I get what type of offense we have, but I would love to see us have a 100-yard rusher this game. We need somebody out of the backfield to actually have 100 yards to go with what Dylan Raiola is going to do, because Dylan going to do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do his thing. And I just want him to continue to do his thing, but we have got to get a rush game going. I would love to see you can say what you want, but Emmett Johnson deserves carries. What he's done, how he's made people miss, and we haven't seen that. We haven't seen people make people miss like that. We got to have that. So I just want to be consistent, and here's what I like to see out of Satterfield. Every game, we look amazing in the first half. And then somehow, some way, in the second half of the game, we look like, you know what, like not necessarily hot garbage, but garbage, because we're not scoring. We're getting beat in the second half of games. So that means that you're not doing something that you did in the first half in the second half, and that's unacceptable. We have not been able to move the ball in the second half. We play conservative against team in the second half. You can't do that and win football games. Lay it all out on the field. Leave it out there. Who cares what happens after that?
All right, if you lay it all out there on the field, Rashawn, give me who you got real quick. Go ahead, defensively.
Okay, defensively, fly around to the ball, get turnovers, gang tackle. Fly around to the ball, get turnovers, gang tackle. I hope we see Javen Wright. I think that'd be great. And I would love to see our linebackers play a lot better than what they've been playing. I want to see another corner, and I'd love to see 15 get a pick, because I think he is, to me, our best corner that we got. Now, special teams, have we won a special teams game yet? Have we scored on special
coin
teams?
flip, but it's either a coin flip or we've lost. We have not dominated on special teams once.
That's what I'm saying. We have got to put a complete game together to even be in the conversation, is what I'm saying. And even be in the conversation, complete games. I think it's going to be harder than we think it is. It's not going to be as easy unless we just go in and mow them down and run the ball. I think it's going to be a close game, and it'll go down to a one-score game. I don't know if it'll be double digits. I don't know because we're on the road. This is our first game on the road. We haven't proven that we can play on the road in 10 years. We haven't proven that we can beat a meaningful team on the road. Guess what? This ain't a meaningful team. This is just a middle-of-the-road team that we should mow down and go look for our next opponent. But these guys in front of us, 11 o'clock, it should be rock them, sock them, smack them, flip them, get out of there football.
Amen. That's the captain right there. Again, we want to shout out Sunbelt Rentals. This segment sponsored by them. Check out sunbeltrentals.com for all your needs. Captain, appreciate it. We're going to throw it to break here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Don't worry, you'll hear from Rico again. We'll keep things rolling here on this Husker football Saturday.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Mindel Footwear is your solution against sore feet, blisters, and poor footing. Don't just take our word for it. Take it from Sip, who said he's never had a pair of boots more comfortable. You won't find Mindel Footwear in any store sold exclusively at MindelUSA.com right out of Sidney, Nebraska. They're so confident you will enjoy the comfort their boots offer. If they don't work out for you, they'll cover the shipping to return them. Use code THETICKET for free shipping because your feet deserve a treat too. Mindel Boots, just try them on.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
Ready to hit the road in style? Liberty First Credit Union is revving up your ride with unbeatable auto loan specials. Cruise away with rates as low as 4.79% APR for 48 months on a 2020 or newer vehicle. Need a longer term? No worries. They've got you covered with 4.89 APR for 60 months and 4.99 APR for 72 months. Hurry, these rates are cruising fast, so don't get left in the dust. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Credit factors apply. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
We're back here, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Austin Orman joined by Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman back on the airwaves here. This segment brought to you by the Kindler Hotel. Book your stay today at the Kindler Hotel in one of their 45 well-appointed guest rooms that provides luxury in the heart of downtown Lincoln. Enjoy a drink at Boitano's Lounge while you're here and take in the outdoor patio. Book your stay today at thekindlerhotel.com. We are under 2 hours from kickoff right now, Huskers and Boilermakers in West Lafayette. Jay, an aspect of the conversation I don't think we've hit as much this week is the identity shift that Purdue's gone under since Jeff Brom left, right? That was an air-it-out team. You want the quick passing game, Aiden O'Connell, Charlie Jones, Payne Durham, Tyrone Tracy involved. You have Rondale Moore back in the day as well. Purdue has leaned on the run.
Mm-hmm.
Last year's kind of a mix. They didn't really have an identity, but this year it doesn't look like they trust Hudson Card. It's Devin Mockabee. For a former Big Ten West foe, when we talk about an identity shift, we think about Wisconsin, right? Going from hard-nosed, run-the-ball offensive line to fickle and Longo and air raid. Purdue's made almost the opposite transformation. It's been kind of weird to watch.
Yeah, it is weird. And also a really good receiver that at times gave Nebraska some fits is Sheffield, who's actually playing on Sundays. But, you know, when you think of Walters as a coach, you know, where he came to, I guess, stardom and just literally was, based on being the defensive coordinator for Brett Bielema at Illinois, he's trying to mirror that.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to take a little bit longer because it's not just the identity shift on how you call plays. It's identity shift within the whole football program. You got to think, you know, this is his second year. And you got to think his first year, you're just playing catch up. So you don't have any you don't even have a year's worth of recruiting class. Now you have your first one, but all the majority of the guys on the team that stayed at Purdue are Jeff Brom's type of players that were recruited to run his type of system and what they felt like were players that could fit in all those spots, especially on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, defensively, they got gutted because both their two, or at least their was it Nick was it Skirton went to Texas A&M in the transfer portal. Well, that's that's a first round pick gone.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, the freshman safety stayed, but that's his wheelhouse is the defense. And so when you have two playmakers, which we saw on display last year, it hurts your offense. And this is how it hurts your offense. You're trying, which is also kind of I think it's a weird way to go about it for Coach Walters. And I want to get like this, right? Your defense is gutted, so you don't have the guys that can kind of be your ultimate equalizers. And again, we saw both of them. I think they both combined had like 8 tackles for loss last year against Nebraska or more.
Lived in the back.
Right. And it was like both of them going back and forth, right? Well, you don't have that. It's gone. So your defense is probably going to be more of bend but don't break or more high risk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then now you're trying to run the ball. So that means your defense isn't marrying your offense.
Right.
To put more on it, Hudson Card, if you follow the offseason, went down to the Manning camp, and he was the number 2. He did really well throwing the ball, and he was number 2. But now you're trying to run the ball. Now, granted, you have Love and Maccabee, which is great. You can still run the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You got a pretty good tight end, and you can always feel like you can get capable receivers now more on the ready with the transfer portal, and especially with guys left over. But it's almost like you've tried to turn Hudson Card into a RPO type of, right? Like a RPO when he can slang it.
And there haven't been a lot of downfield shots. He's completing 64% of his passes, but only 151 yards per game. That tells me it's RPO, quick, make the read, get it out quick. And they don't have a Rondale Moore, Charlie Jones, run after catch, early separation guy.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to do something and you don't even have one guy on your roster that can do what you're wanting them to do. It's almost like, you remember when probably a little bit before, when Bill Callahan came in, right? It's 30, 40 years of recruiting the option football. And he's like, and he just came in and said, you know what, we're running West Coast. We don't have it just doesn't look well. And then when you're getting blown out like that, and then going to Oregon State and getting ran through, when your defense isn't able to stop the RPO or conventional run game, that lets me know you're not doing it well either, because you're not practicing against it.
Right.
And so then now you're trying to take a quarterback that has a really live arm, played well last year for the situation, that can drop back and throw it. You don't go down to Manning to the Manning camp in the offseason and come out with glowing reviews and you can't throw the football.
Right. It's essentially the elite 11 for college guys.
Right. And you should be wanting to maybe accentuate that, because that'll help you recruit in the future. And also you could develop your receivers. Now, that doesn't mean you just throw it all over the yard like was before, but the mix isn't there. The continuity from offense, defense, special teams isn't there.
Right.
And, but also that means for Nebraska, you have to prepare for their best. You have to prepare for them to take shots downfield, especially if you're not fully loaded with defensive players, but then also based on what you did last week.
We talked about it a little bit yesterday on Old School, maturity game for Nebraska. I said with Nick starting off the show, I want your thoughts on it. I think Purdue and this Purdue team is maybe the perfect opportunity for Nebraska, coming off of 2 straight weeks of teams running the ball with some success. Okay, you get a third opportunity to prove yourself.
Yeah.
You finally get your first road game. You just lost your Big Ten opener at home. You got to bring your own juice right on the road. If Nebraska plays well, it has the opportunity, even against a Purdue team that Nebraska, quote unquote, should beat, is probably more physically talented than. Purdue's desperate, gotten gashed, gotten kicked the last couple weeks. Nebraska's problems won't be solved, right, magically in 1 week if they beat Purdue, but they can answer a lot of questions for this week and take a step in the right direction just by showing up and playing good, solid football.
Yeah, you know what last week was? It's like when I don't know, when you first start riding a bike, or say you were skateboarding and you take your training wheels off and you think you got it, And the first time you're on a gravel road, you go too fast. Remember your parents say, hey, listen, you get around the road. When you turn those corners, gravel road, you don't go too fast. Yeah, whatever. I got
it.
Right? And you've done it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one time that you maybe do it, maybe you're not with your buddies, that you get skinned. And it's like road rash, right? And so now then you're embarrassed, right? And it happens. And then you come back home and everybody's making fun of you. This game for Purdue, it won't heal the wound, but it's the in-between part. What Nebraska has to think of, and with this analogy, is we don't want to fall down and open up the scabs that we are trying to heal. And the only way that you can get to that point is go out there and play with your best effort and performance today against Purdue. Purdue has capable athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue is capable of playing their best game. Nebraska has to show up and be ready to play their best game, no matter what Purdue does, and the object is to win the game. This is a maturity game also, and I didn't get to it yesterday on Old School because we ran out of time. But here's what you also have to, don't just focus on this year. This game is also healing for when we went to Michigan State last year.
Sure.
You just said the word desperate. When teams are desperate and they're at home and you have a coach and a coaching staff, even though it's in his second year, and it's not even fair for him to be on the hot seat considering what Brom left there, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Your back's against the wall. You know they're going to coach, call plays, and inspire their players to play so.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Walters would like to go into his AD's office Monday and be like, okay, we beat a flagship blue blood program. Back it off a little bit. Now, Nebraska, you have to know that as a player, as a coach, and how you prepare for this game. But then also you can't be scared of it, because all you have to do is play what you see and be locked in. And that was what they weren't last week. And if they're locked in this week, they'll be just fine.
To your point on the hot seat, since Joe Tiller, who is probably the most successful football coach Purdue has ever had, he retired in 2000, or was done in 2008. Danny Hope, 4 years. Daryl Hazel, 3.5 years. Jeff Brom, probably the second best coach in Purdue history,
for sure,
was there for 6 years.
Yeah.
Coaches don't have a long shelf life at Purdue. And the guys I mentioned before, Danny Hope, 5-7, 4-8, 7-6, 6-6. Hazel was one of the worst coaches we've seen yet. Nebraska still lost to him. 1-11, 3-9, 2-10.
Yeah.
Purdue does have a pretty quick turnaround time, quick trigger.
Yeah.
Right. So if Walters doesn't get to 7-8 wins by next year, it wouldn't shock me that he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about maybe he's on the hot seat this year, depending on what it looks like. I mean, you generally would think you want to give him 3 years, and next year is boom or bust.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when Daryl Hazel was there, remember the quarterback? Remember when he was eating a hot dog? You never remember that?
Yeah,
he
on the sideline.
He was the third team quarterback. Remember, they ran the same play, throwing it to the tight end down the field after eating a hot dog, and didn't have any stomach issues, but gave us stomach aches watching it. But I think Nebraska turns it around. I think these guys are motivated and understand where they're at, and I think the coaching staff is a very mature coaching staff to understand where they're at and what they need to do. Now the players just need to go out there and execute. I think obviously having a capable quarterback and offense that allows the defense to go out there and not relax but play well, and maybe knowing that they were not on edge like they should have been against Illinois. But a lot of the things that made Illinois look like the 19th ranked team, which they are now, was self-inflicted wounds by Nebraska. And Illinois hitting on I call them jackpot plays or situations, like 6 or 7 plays that they had to go right. They almost had to play for their skill set and way they have been playing with Nebraska. They almost had to play the perfect game, and they pretty much did.
Yeah. Especially situationally.
Situationally, they hit everything. I still don't think they got that first down on fourth down. I don't even think it was close. I think Nebraska stopped them on that fourth down play, which even with the knucklehead MJ Sherman, I guess, punching at the whatever you call it, it's just backs Nebraska up, and then they don't score. So, but ultimately Purdue comes down to want to, right? Execution, intent, and just what we like to call, when we talk about basketball, just playing steady.
Right.
And then next thing you know, you look up and you'll be up by 2.5 scores, 3 scores.
Nebraska, Purdue, just about 2.5 hours away. New availability report just came out. Tristan Alvano, Ramir Stewart, Turner Corcoran listed as out, and both number 56s, Jay Foreman, Micah Mazuka and Stephon Thompson now on the out list.
Dang. They hating on
You're only down to 44s now. No 56s.
We know.
Just 44s.
I know Lindemeyer going to be there. He's going to be there. 56 is that was when I was a young pup. Both of them out. I think Stephon Thompson must have got hurt last week, and must have been, and then with the Mazuka thing,
we'll see.
We'll see. To be determined.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Also to be determined the outcome of today's game. Again, 2.5 hours away. We'll throw it to break. Nick Sainert, Aaron Davis as we continue the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith. Innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444. If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
It's gone forever. It's Schaefer's 78th anniversary extravaganza.
Maybe a little dramatic, but you get the point. It's Schaefer's 78th anniversary. And we're delivering the savings on LG appliances with huge $1,000 rebates. Save on your whole kitchen, including the new My Color fridge, and get free delivery on your qualified LG purchase. Hurry in for the savings during Schaefer's 78th anniversary event.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
Mindel Footwear is your solution against sore feet, blisters, and poor footing. Don't just take our word for it. Take it from Sip, who said he's never had a pair of boots more comfortable. You won't find Mindel Footwear in any store sold exclusively at MindelUSA.com right out of Sidney, Nebraska. They're so confident you will enjoy the comfort their boots offer. If they don't work out for you, they'll cover the shipping to return them. Use code THETICKET for free shipping because your feet deserve a treat too. Mindel boots, just try them on.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Shane Podliska, mortgage lender at Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. I'm here to help you achieve your goal, the American dream of home ownership. Whether you're buying your first home or looking to refinance, I've got the experience and know-how to make it happen. So let's tackle this together. Call me, Shane Podliska, and let's get you into the end zone of home ownership. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Go Big Red.
Personal banking like you remember.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Raising Cane's.
Welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Nick Sainer with you here alongside Aaron Davis. AD, what's happening? Happy game day.
It's a beautiful morning here, Saturday morning. The Ticket, Nick, it is game day, man. Of course, Nebraska kicks off there in West Lafayette here in about 90 minutes, actually. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Beautiful morning, too. Downtown Lincoln, Nebraska is beautiful. You know what, Nick? It's weird to see it this calm on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. I had the conversation with Sip earlier about Nebraska was in kind of a unusual spot that they've been in years past where they got the first 4 games of the season at home. Right. I mean, essentially, they've been starting the year on the road for the last couple of years, right? 2021, they went to Illinois. Right. 2022 was in Ireland, and then 2023 was obviously at Minnesota last year in the first game of Matt Rule. So now Nebraska goes on the road. Is there any concern for you, Nebraska going on the road for the first time this year?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's like I said earlier this week during the drive. I'm alert. And I'm also concerned about it, Nick. Let's make it short. Yeah, I'm concerned because it's the first time that you have a freshman quarterback. He's not played like a freshman quarterback. Yeah. But it's the first time you've had a freshman quarterback in Dylan Raiola that's going to be on the road, along with other key offensive guys. Carter Nelson. You look at Barney as well. It's another one that's going to be a freshman. It's going to be the first time on the road. And so it's things like that concern me. It's different. However, there's also comfort. But we'll talk about that in a second. The other concern for me right now, Nick, for Nebraska doing this, how are they going to respond? Because we don't know this team yet. Yeah, this team doesn't know. I can't say they don't know who they are, but we haven't seen this yet. How do you respond after not just like a tough? No, it was a heartbreaking loss in overtime a week ago last night. So I'm concerned to see how they respond, but I'm also excited to see how they respond, man.
By the way, this segment on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is brought to you by our friends at Raising Cane's. Order like a champ with the Raising Cane's mobile app or online at raisingcanes.com, and you'll be able to feed the whole team this football season with cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and the reigning MVP, that signature cane sauce. Game days are better with Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Man, let's talk about that. Maybe kind of hungry.
Even the way you read it, I was like, man, I'm kind of wondering.
Well, did you hear the way I said buttery Texas toast? I was like, oh boy, I got to keep on reading. I could use one of those. How do they know my order? Anyway, so Nebraska getting ready for Purdue. We are about an hour and a half out from kickoff between the Huskers and the Boilermakers. Once again, Nick Sainert alongside Aaron Davis with you here. Come on down, grab yourself some milk, coffee, and tea. Grab yourself some breakfast. 1040 O Street, you know the spot. It's the place to hang out. There's a good number of people in here as well inside our coffee shop, the Mill Coffee and Tea. All right, AD, let's talk running backs to start here. Dante Dowdell, we've seen him in games before have 20-plus carries. We also saw him in other games have 6, where Ramir Johnson adds 4. And so I ask you, what's the sweet spot today? Matt Rule talked about how they want to potentially get Dante Dowdell to a spot where they can get him 25 carries a game. What's the sweet spot today for Nebraska's starting running back?
You know what, as porous as Purdue's defensive line is, I would say the sweet spot, first of all, to control the line of scrimmage early. Control it early.
Yeah.
And I get a little hesitant when I say this running back should have this many. You got to give what the defense takes you.
Yeah.
If Purdue comes out and stacks the box with 10 guys sitting up there, 10 guys, you'd be foolish to still try to run the ball into a brick wall like that.
Yeah.
However, you don't abandon it either. So as far as sweet spots, Nick, I'm not sure, but I will say this. Don't abandon it too quickly. Perfect. The blueprint. Illinois back last week.
You're absolutely right.
2.8 yards, 13 carries, 2.8 in the first half. Second half doubles that with 26 carries, averaging 5.8 yards a carry. Change the thing. So you don't abandon it. You may not always come up with dices on it, but at the same time, you can't abandon the run either.
Isn't it bizarre? It feels like we have the same conversations every single season where it's like, all right, what's the key to Nebraska getting a victory today? And I think I can remember a certain instance or multiple instances every single season these last couple of years where it's been, don't abandon the run.
Right.
And just because it doesn't work out or pan out in the first half, don't become comfortable with just abandoning the run. And I think Nebraska, maybe years past, has become comfortable too soon. With that being said, I think Husker fans do need to fully accept that they have a quarterback now that this staff adores, and probably rightfully so to this extent, or to this time and spot. But they want to get him the opportunity to throw the ball, and they've shown that.
Yeah,
even in a 34-3 lead with Northern Iowa. This is an offense, I think, where an offensive coordinator, right, where you talk about like Marcus Satterfield, and there's so much negativity surrounding Marcus Satterfield for the last season and a half. I think that though we are starting to really learn that, you know what, they have a really talented quarterback and they want to use him.
Right. Nick, I was talking to some of my family members in Alabama as far as that goes. They're from Nebraska, but living in Alabama for the past 30 plus years. Anyway,
not Raph. Raph hasn't moved there yet. I hope Raph's listening. That's the only reason I mentioned that.
He's eating pancakes right now.
Yeah, we saw. And if you didn't, check him out on social media. Anywhere you get your Raph content. Anyway.
We're talking to my cousins in Bama, and they were like, this is the first time, from what they said, in years that they felt comfortable with a quarterback, and also with a quarterback to where no matter how much you get down, but if you get down, you feel comfortable and have confidence that we could come back.
Yeah.
We haven't always been able to say that. And I think the Nebraska staff knows they got a Rolls Royce, they got a Ferrari. You better use it. Don't keep it in the garage. You know what I'm saying, Nick? And at times past, it's just reality. We didn't have the luxury of a quarterback that we knew that could deliver the ball when it really mattered in crucial times.
Yeah, well, in crucial times and then in not crucial times, right? Like, I think I'll be curious to see, because there's so much being made about Purdue's lack of rushing defense or lack of ability to stop the run. So much is being made about the 700 yards rushing that they've given up the last 2 weeks. And I almost wonder, I think it's an important piece. SIP called it a red flag day. And I thought that was very telling and actually probably a pretty good comparison or analogy, because this will be interesting to see. Okay, Nebraska knows that they'll probably be able to run the ball. Do they do it? Do they run the ball?
Again, we sound like a broken record, but Purdue's allowed, like I said, 400+ yards a game in the first couple games they've played. They were run-oriented offense they were playing against. But Nick, here's what I'm going to say too, though. I'm going to say this from the defensive side of Purdue. Don't think they haven't been reading all week long how porous we've been saying their defensive line is. And you know their defensive coordinator and Coach Walters going, you see, they have no respect for you. They have no respect. Are you going to let it ride like that? Are you willing to just go out and say that's who we are? Is that who we are?
Yeah.
So red flag for me is also because of our offense to making sure that if that's a defense that's stout up front, you better diversify in what you're doing.
Yeah, by the way, availability report has been released for Nebraska. Nebraska, there's nobody on the questionable side of things. So you have 5 guys that are out. Two, I suppose, new additions to the outside of things. Tristan Alvano, Ramir Stewart, Micah Mazuka officially out. We broke it yesterday, broke the news that he was on a flight to San Francisco during the drive yesterday.
It's not the right direction in West Lafayette.
Opposite way.
And you know, Nick, I'm going to say this about the young man. I don't know the situation.
No.
Very few people know the real situation. I just hope and pray the young man, like I said, whatever it is, that he's safe, that he's good.
Yeah.
And, football, this is bigger than football. Go ahead.
Rightfully or understandably so, Turner Corcoran is out. And then the new addition from the linebacker room, Stephon Thompson, is out as well, unable to suit up today. However, a name that is not on there as we try to look glass half full at this thing, Javen Wright is not listed on the availability report, which means he is in West Lafayette. He's suited up. We're excited for Javen, obviously. Yeah. Don't know what to the extent he's going to be able to play, obviously, but the fact that he's even
just the fact that he's there,
he's even able to be in that conversation is a positive thing. AD, before we get out of here in the next 4 or 5 minutes or so, by the way, this segment brought to you by our friends at Raising Cane's. Game days are better with Cane's. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. What happens? What are you thinking? Just surrounding Nebraska football today. How do they respond after the biggest push of adversity that they've probably faced this year in the Illinois loss?
You know what, Nick? Obviously, we're all just guessing here, taking educated guesses from what we know from the data in front of us.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Nick, I don't know what to expect. I'm gonna tell you what I want to happen, which I know all of us do that are Husker fans.
Yeah.
I want Nebraska to come out sound, and I'm sound meaning like
for 4 quarters. Because Nebraska, for the most part, and sorry to interrupt, AD. Nebraska, for the most part, every game this season, maybe not so much of the Illinois game, they've come out, they've scored quick, and they've led. They've had a lead at half all 4 weeks. Now here we go with the second half conversation. Nebraska can't let off the gas.
No, they can't. And Nick, they can't let off the gas. And it's like we've said before. And I said come out sound, but also they got to bring their own energy. Purdue Stadium, even if they have 65, even if it's sold out, that's still 20,000, almost less than at Memorial Stadium down the street. Yeah. So Nebraska's got to bring their own energy, come out sound, bring out their own energy. And Nick, like you mentioned, play 4 quarters, but also more important on the defensive side, you must execute.
Yeah.
You got to execute because that number 45, Maccabee.
Yeah.
I always think about Mr. Maccabee from back in the day. But regardless, if you don't play disciplined football, he'll make you look silly. Yeah. That's just the bottom line. That team is not immune from stranded away from their running game. So Nebraska on the defensive side has got to come out and execute. So I hope they come out sound and bring their own energy in this and play with a chip on your shoulder, man.
Yeah, I agree. I would 100% agree. I think, we're getting texts and comments on the streams about will Satterfield actually commit to the run? There's that piece of it for sure, guys. Oh, but once again, and not to put it all on the 18 to 24-year-olds, but at the end of the day, we saw it last week against Illinois. You got to, at some point, you need dudes that can execute and do their job. We did get a question about Tommy Hill. Tommy Hill dealing with a plantar fasciitis type of
and
deal.
That's a hard one right there,
It's all about pain tolerance. Yes. I mean, that's kind of where he's at right now. So I would imagine limited in some capacity, right? This is somewhat speculation, but also just kind of understanding and hearing some things. You would assume limited, but that's once again, it's one of those things where now, especially with Ramir Stewart on out today, on that backside in the defensive back room, if Nebraska's able to get Purdue uncomfortable, and what I mean by that is get out to a lead where Purdue has to start doing uncharacteristic type of things. Yeah, uncharacteristic type of things later in the game. Guess what? They also have a quarterback in Hudson Card who threw 2 picks 2 weeks ago and an interception last week as well against Oregon State. So you have this team in Purdue that makes mistakes. You have a quarterback that does not always hold on to the ball and make the right decision, and he'll force things. And so Purdue's not super daunting, super scary on the perimeter. They have a really nice tight end, but it's also not to the same extent that maybe in years past. Nebraska, they beat Purdue last year 31-14 at home. They also, that was the last game, the last Big Ten conference game that was decided by more than 7 points for the Huskers, was last year's game against the Purdue Boilermakers.
Nick, Hudson Card, 171 averaging on the ground, 183 through the air. On the ground, 171 on the through the air, 183 on the ground. Hudson Card is not someone who's going to jump out the screen on you, but he's also he's averaging 340 yards, 347. That offense, 347 a game. So it's not like this offense is going to go to sleep. Nick, I don't think Purdue is just going to lay down. I just don't see it, man.
Well, it's too early in the season for anybody to lay down. Like that's my thing. Like
Virginia Tech last night.
The same conversation that we were having about Nebraska football after the Illinois loss, about that was one game. There's a lot of season left. Purdue's having that too, right? This is a big year for Ryan Walters. It's a brutal schedule for the Boilermakers coming up. There's a lot of season left for both of these sides. Hopefully Nebraska can get the job done. I was also going to add in there that, and as I'm losing my train of thought, I'm trying to jog my memory. There it is. See, I just had to switch back to the video stream comments.
We're knowing each other so well. I knew what you were going to.
Well, not post game.
Yeah,
but I'll join the post game show obviously immediately after the game. But Michaela's on the YouTube stream said we need to shut down their run immediately. No 8 and 6 yards per carry. That part, but conversely, making it about Nebraska. Nebraska needs to stay on schedule.
Yeah.
They did a really good job the first 3 weeks against UTEP, Colorado, and Northern Iowa. And now lesser defenses, I understand that. But with that, conversely for Nebraska, it's stay on schedule. Allow yourself to get into third and manageable. Last week, Nebraska on offense, third and on average 8.9 yards per third down attempt. That is no matter how good your quarterback is, no matter how good Jamal Banks or how consistent Isaiah Nayor can be,
it's a lot to ask.
It's a lot to ask consistently of your offense, right? So, especially on a day like today, make it third and manageable. That's always the number I like to go to and see, okay, what is that third down and average number of yards to distance? So we'll see what happens there. Score prediction, AD. What are we thinking?
I'm saying 31-17 Skurs.
All right.
31-17.
This will be the last you guys hear from me on the pregame show, so I'll give the official prediction. I think Nebraska, I think they're going to come out firing, in all honesty. I think Dante Dowdell has a 100-yard rushing day.
I'd love it.
I do. I think this is a game where Dante Dowdell gets 20-plus carries as well.
Tell me more.
And I think Dylan Raiola takes care of the football. I think Nebraska forces a couple of turnovers like they've done so defensively. And I hope that this is a game where I'm watching Gunnar Gatula and seeing that the left side of the line is going to be doing their part. Henry Lutovsky, once again, you can't go out there and have this mentality of it's a new guy, it's a fresh legs. He's not going to be good. This is his 30th game as a Husker.
Exactly.
30th appearance in a Husker game. 7th start of his career for Henry Lutovsky, replacing Micah Mazuka at that right guard position. So there's certainly no excuses, no room for it. As Nebraska tries to go 4-1. All right. Once again, this segment sponsored by our friends at Raising Cane's. Order like a champ with the Raising Cane's mobile app or online at raisingcanes.com, and you'll be able to feed the whole team this football season with cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast. I highly recommend getting it bobbed, butter on both sides. If you're not worried about your calories.
I ain't never heard of that before.
It's bobbed. Get it bobbed at Cane's.
I thought you just made it up.
Butter on both sides. No, it's a real thing. If Darren's listening, he'll understand. Butter on both sides. Buttery Texas toast and the reigning MVP, the signature Cane's sauce. Game days are better with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. All right, AD, 31-17. I'm going to say 38-14.
Okay.
That I feel pretty confident about it. And I would be surprised if Purdue scores more than 2 touchdowns today. But you know what? Crazier things have happened, and who knows? Maybe that'll be the conversation that we have after the ball game. All right, let's step aside. We turn things over to Rico and Chancellor. They'll be with you on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show right after this on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session, and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Patriot Plumbing at 402-464-7411 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-464-7411.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers?
Check.
Chips?
Check.
Icy cold beer?
Check.
Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Fuhrer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Fuhrer's cheese spread today in most local grocery stores.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com, serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too.
My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own.
Always in the driver's seat, huh?
Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot.
Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop.
Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Perch Merch.
Welcome back, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Nebraska, Purdue, the Huskers' first road test this season. I am Rico, joined by the one and only Sir Chancellor Brewington. This segment brought to you by Perch Merch. Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in and around Lincoln. Screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, and more. Go to perchmerch.com. And Chancellor, in this break, we were talking a little bit of Rutgers, but what I really want to get into is the availability report for Nebraska and Purdue. Now, I'm sure that we've been talking a lot about Nebraska's availability report, and throughout the week, Tristan Alvano being out and them going with John Hull, Stephon Thompson now listed as out, and Micah Mazuka with the sighting of him not going to West Lafayette and heading out to San Francisco on a plane from Omaha is also listed as out. But some of the names that aren't on the availability report are probably more enticing, as Tommy Hill's name is not on questionable, not on out, and a name that I've been really excited to see on the field, Javen Wright, not listed as out or questionable either. How important is it for Nebraska to be getting those two defenders back?
Yeah, I think it's promising, of course, what you see with Sadir Wright, but Tommy Hill is Tommy Hill, and he's a graded first round, second round draft pick for a reason. So the number one thing for me is Tommy Hill comfortable enough to play? You definitely don't want to throw him out there, because I seen videos. They're already posting videos of him warming up on the field with a DB coach. And I think the biggest question is, okay, how is he feeling? Does the foot bother him when he plants? Is it affecting the way he cuts, the way he breaks? But having Tommy Hill, a veteran on this defense, real shutdown corner, and kind of an opportunity for a redemption game. First drive of Illinois, kind of let up a touchdown with some questionable technique. So it'll be awesome to get him back. And then of course Javen Wright. I'm so big on him. I've not seen a linebacker his size and move the way he does, have the versatility from moving to corner to safety to nickel through his college career. So that's a guy that I'm high on, and I think he will probably be the missing piece, especially in the pass defense. Him being able to play man, being able to drop in zone and be comfortable there.
I know that the Colorado game, I was really sad to not see him out there and to not that Nebraska wasn't going to have him, because I thought that game would have matched up perfectly for him, being that he did start at safety, got bigger, got stronger, moved down to that linebacker spot. But again, with the experience that he had at safety, with the experience he had as a defensive back, being able to cover, but being the size and having the speed that he had, I thought that game was perfect for him. And this one, kind of the same way. It's not a team, Purdue is not a team that passes all that much. Right. I mean, Hudson Card threw 17 times in their last game. They're a team that wants to run the ball and play hard-nosed defense with a former defensive coordinator as their head coach. But having him back at that linebacker spot, his ability to stuff the run and cover the passes, because Purdue's leading receiver is a tight end,
is going to be massive for Nebraska if he's able to, depending on how much he's able to play. You don't want to push him or Tommy too hard.
Yes.
And a name that I didn't even notice, wasn't on the report because it's a guy that we haven't heard much from since his spring game injury, Bly Hill. Not listed on the report as well. Not out, not questionable. So he's available. Don't know how much he'll play, but he's available, which is, again, massive for Nebraska defensively.
Yeah, you want as much depth as possible because I see this as not going to 4 quarters. I see this, probably getting out of hand going into quarter 4. We'll talk about predictions,
we'll get to that
to close it out, but just to have as much depth as possible because just like last week, all of a sudden Tommy Hill goes down and Sayer Wright is ready, locked, and loaded, and Rule comes out on Thursday and says he's a starting Big Ten corner, right? Off of that performance. So building as much depth on this team. And like you said, this is a running football team in Purdue. So the amount of, passing and that type of stuff is probably going to be super low. But the defense, and we'll talk about it, the defense needs to establish themselves early as a run stopping defense.
This is going to be an extremely physical game from my perspective with a team that, again, like you just mentioned, I said, not going to pass the ball all that much. So Nebraska's defensive backs are going to have to tackle a lot, and they've shown the ability and the willingness to be physical. And getting back to that availability report, going on to the Purdue side of things, they've got a whole host of names who are listed as out. And 2 of the more notable names are Jamal Edrine.
Okay.
And he is their second leading receiver. Again, they don't pass much, but their second leading receiver with 5 receptions, 77 yards receiving. No touchdowns, however. But their second leading receiver is out for this game. And, don't forget, their third leading tackler on the team, Antonio Stevens, who is one of their defensive backs, who, again, is third on the team with 18 tackles this season, also out.
Yeah, that's hey, this is not the game for Purdue that you want people out. I think Nebraska, if Nebraska plays Nebraska way, I mean, the standard and it'll be awesome because the defense hasn't shown who they are, who they truly are yet, right? You go against Colorado, you shut down Shador, you shut down that explosive offense. And then you kind of let up, you kind of go numb against UNI, a 10-minute drive. And then you go to, Illinois comes in and you just never really caught your footing in that game as a defense. So capitalizing on, some certain guys being off, whether it's a receiver here on the offensive end, capitalizing that, a DB's, you got a fresh DB out there, right? Maybe some deep shots with Ja'Cory Barney or Jamal Banks or Isaiah Nayer, capitalizing on those things, but also just playing your game. Because I think if we play our game, this shouldn't be close.
Now, something that I don't know if it's something that I've noticed or something that I've just kind of put into my head is Nebraska's defense starting every game. It seems as if the first offensive drive for the opponent, Nebraska's defense seems to get gashed a decent amount, but then they make really good adjustments. And for the rest of the game, they're pretty solid. It didn't happen against Illinois, and they just kept taking advantage of the middle of the field. But that's something that they need to avoid in this matchup. You do not want, especially you're on the road for the first time. You want your freshman quarterback to get comfortable. You need to start fast. Everybody wants to start fast.
Right.
You need to start going early and get everybody on the same page. You don't want to give Purdue or this kind of sleepy fan base at 11 a.m. Any type of momentum early.
Yeah.
You want to snuff that flame out immediately.
Yeah, I think the number one thing, and I'm sure was a focus point, and it showed up the last 2 weeks, is getting off the field on third down. As a defense, the defense needs to get off the field on third down, specifically in the first 2 drives, because I think that, like you talked about, we've given too much teams life early. Because you think of the UNI game, it would have got really, really out of hand if we would have just got off the field in third down, right? The first drive. So maybe they get the first third down, but we can't let them get consecutive third down success rates because it starts to build up. And then all of a sudden, teams start feeling themselves. And then all of a sudden, it's third and 1 and, 3rd and 2, and then it's 4th and 1 and teams start going for it and think 2 situations. So this is something where you need to set the tone early and say, hey, what we put on film the past couple of weeks, has not been us.
Yeah,
it hasn't been us.
If a team isn't second guessing going for it on fourth down, you've given them way too much momentum.
Exactly.
If they're just going out there, fourth down hits, and immediately the quarterback looks over at the coach and they're just like, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah. The quarterback's over there like, come on.
You've done too much. You've allowed them to get way too comfortable in that way.
Exactly.
All right, we're getting ready to get out of here. Predictions. What does Nebraska have to do offensively and defensively to win this game? And then your final score prediction.
Offensively, I think you have to have some distribution, some delegation in the running back room. I think it needs to be a pretty even game with some carries. I think you have to get Dante, Emmett, and Ramir involved. I think if we get above that 200 and I would say 25 rushing yard mark, I think the victory's sealed, and I think it's probably around a 38-13 win.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. More big scoring. To me, this is going to fall squarely on Nebraska's defense. I think the offense, as they've shown through these last few weeks, is going to do enough to get this win. I think it's going to fall squarely on the defense after the performance that they had against a physical Illinois squad. You're facing another physical squad, probably not as talented, but another physical squad. You are going to have to, bow your backs, get ready to get hit in the mouth and respond this time.
Right.
You can't let Purdue, again, get any type of momentum and shut down that run game early. Force Hudson Card to pass the ball. He doesn't want to pass the ball. Purdue doesn't want him to pass the ball, but you need to force them to air it out and then take advantage on that side. And I think Nebraska, I think I was at 34-14. I think I don't think Purdue can score.
Yeah,
that's going to be a tough one. I think they get a couple lucky things, but I don't see Purdue being able to score too easily. But that's going to do it here for Chancellor and myself. This segment again brought to you by Perch Merch. Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in and around Lincoln. Screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, and more. Go to perchmerch.com. Stick around. A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show continues next with Austin Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session, and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest Best Boxing on Saturday, October 5th with Roughnecks at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 8 bouts are scheduled for the night, including the main event of Dwayne Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks in the Professional Middleweight Championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
This is Chris Elger, loan originator at Lincoln Federal. With over 20 years in the industry, I have found it's extremely gratifying to solve my customers' home financing needs and then show them the options and strategies available for them to fulfill their goals. But my biggest reward comes when I watch my valued customers experience the American dream of home ownership and move into their new home. Talk with me about your home loan at Lincoln Federal and Go Big Red. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Personal banking like you remember.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Once in a lifetime event. You miss it, it's gone forever. It's Schaefer's 78th anniversary extravaganza.
Maybe a little dramatic, but you get the point. It's Schaefer's 78th anniversary. Our celebration means savings for you on top names throughout our huge TV gallery. Plus, save hundreds on Serta, Beauty Rest, and Sutherland mattress sets, and get free delivery on your qualified purchase. Hurry in for the savings during Schaefer's 78th anniversary event.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Select Plumbing.
This segment of pregame coverage is indeed brought to you by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. I'm Austin Norman. Joining me, Terrell Farley. Farley, what's up, Hall of Famer?
What's going on, Austin?
How's your morning?
It's going all good, except being late this morning. I was okay.
You know, you didn't miss the game, and I guess that's the important part, right?
Yeah, I won't miss that part of it.
What's the closest you ever got to missing a bus?
Never, because I'm always ready.
There we go.
You know, I want to get in on the bus and get relaxed and, you know, just get focused for the game. I think this game is going to mean a lot for the defense this game. So, You know, the guys just need to focus and get ready and forget about last week. It's over with. Let's get ready for this game, and then we can worry about the next game after the horn blows in the fourth quarter.
Nebraska has its first road game. What were the road venues you liked going to and the road venues that were like, can we just skip this week and not go there?
Colorado. Colorado was a fun place to play in because their crowd was ferocious, and and you like being in them type of atmospheres and then you silence the crowd with your play. So you don't really have to worry about them in the fourth quarter because we already done beat the daylights out of them. Worst place probably Ames, Iowa State. It was raining that game, you know, and probably for this game it might rain, so the guys have to, you know, just and then you're facing a running team and it's raining and they just run more. So you know, really games like that I love, but I hate because I get wet.
Jay also said that Ames just smelled bad.
Yeah, it's got a terrible smell to it, like a cow pasture or something like that. But it didn't. A lot of bugs out there too, so bad place to play.
Hey, luckily West Lafayette is not known for its agriculture. It's known for its trains, right? Boiler up, lay down the tracks, all that good stuff. Nebraska and Purdue, 45, 50 minutes away or so. Terrell, you mentioned big game for the defense. I think that's probably the way we have to frame this game. Offense wasn't perfect, hasn't been perfect, but you'd like to think you could win a game with 24 points relying on a veteran defense. Nebraska couldn't do that at home, and I wonder how many players are in the same mindset as you, right? You love the game, but you hate the game. 3 straight weeks against a team that has running the ball as its identity. I love the spot Nebraska's in. Going on the road, you got to bring your own energy. There's no excuse to be flat, right? You can't use that as an excuse. You can't rely on the home crowd as a crutch. And you're now facing 3 straight teams that want to run the ball. Okay, here's your chance to prove that any of the issues you had against the run, you've talked through them, you've coached through them. Now go prove that you fixed them.
Oh yeah, I mean, from coming off a lost week, they have to go out here and show everybody that they collected their nerves. They talked about it. They worked on it. Especially for the last 3 games to face a team that's been running on it, especially the breakdown last week against the Illinois team. You want to shut Purdue down completely. You want to get you probably want a shutout, but you know, with the way you're going to play the game and the way you want backups to get in, it's probably not going to happen. But you want to dominate while you're out there, and I think this is what the defense has to do today. You have to come out from the start and show them that you learn from your mistakes. You want to make up. You want to be the best you can be. And maybe that loss was the best thing for them. So we have to see how they mindset is at this game. Or do they play with a chip on their shoulder? Do they run more aggressively? Do they play more aggressively? Do they have that team will that a losing team wants to respond from? So we have to check out the defense a lot today and special teams just to see how things go for Nebraska. Offense, I'll take 24 points. You know, I mean, anytime you score 24 points, you're supposed to win the game, but that wasn't the case last week.
It was not. So you get to 24 in the third quarter, you don't score in the fourth, and then overtime goes to hell in a handbasket for the Huskers. They lose their first game. Sticking on the defense here, Terrell, and special teams, right? Tristan Alvano still out. So John Hull will be doing the kicking. Ramir Stewart, backup guy at that rover position, listed as out on the depth chart. And a surprise today, Stephon Thompson, backup linebacker, added to the injury report. But the biggest name that's dealing with an injury, or at least bumps and bruises, Tommy Hill. He was going through pregame warmups with that plantar fascia injury. Matt Rule said it's just a pain management thing for him. If he can handle the pain, he's good enough to play through it. If he can't handle the pain, hey, no harm, no foul. It's usually, 4 to 6 week sort of injury, just letting it rest and rehab that way. If you're Nebraska, is it worth playing Tommy Hill before your first bye week comes up after Rutgers? Do you push him through, say, hey, we need you. You're one of our most important defenders. We need you to step up and play. Or do you say, hey, we get it. You have an NFL future ahead of you. If you think you can play, we'll take that into consideration, but we think it's best for your future that we maybe pump the brakes and just make sure that you're under control, your foot's safe.
Well, I mean, as a player, he has to make that decision. You know, do he think he can go or, I mean, if you want to play through it, get a shot and keep playing. I mean, play till you can't play no more. I mean, I remember a game I had to take a shot in my back. It lasted all the way through the end of the third quarter, and by that time we was manhandling the team, and I got to sit down. But it's I don't know who it's up to, but I wouldn't really stress it because it's Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you seen how great the other guy played behind him last week.
Sierra Wright.
You give Sierra Wright another chance. I mean, put him in there. You say you come out the bye week, then try it out 3 weeks later and see how it feels. If it's not, just shut it down for the rest of the year. I know, we don't know what kids think these days just because of the way college football been going, especially last week with NIL money, guys sitting out, oh, I'm not playing enough, I'm going to redshirt and transfer. So, we never know what's going through these kids' head these days.
That is just the thing. Nebraska and Purdue ahead of us. So that's the injury report for Nebraska. Purdue's got a lengthier one. It is, of course, headlined by one of their starting safeties, Antonio Stevens. He's out. He is their third leading tackler on the year, Farley. But the two guys ahead of him on Purdue's tackle list are the two best players on this defense by far. Kydron Jenkins wears number 4. He's a disruptive piece there at an outside linebacker position. And then Dylan Thieneman, who is I think he was a freshman All-American safety, one of the best young defenders in the country. They've got 27 and 25 tackles, respectively. We'll start with Kydron Jenkins, right? He loses his complement on the edge in Nick Skirton, who goes to Texas A&M. And there's no one else like a George Karlaftis piece alongside of him. If you're Nebraska and you have this guy for Purdue that has 5.5 tackles for loss and 3.5 sacks through 3 games, is he a guy that you run away from, roll the pocket away from, or do you go at him, double team him quite a bit, just make sure he's getting hit on every play to try to wear him down by the time you get to the late third and fourth quarters?
Well, for a guy like that, especially plays the outside linebacker like I do, you want to run at him. I mean, you want to keep him on his toes. You want to be physical with him, and also you don't want to go away from him because that's his bread and butter. When he has that opportunity, he's gonna
pursuing from backside.
If he has the opportunity, he's gonna do it. So you want to keep everything in front of him. Especially double him sometime, knock him down, keep a running back in the backfield. Just to push him off. Just keep him off balance. But the best thing to do is just keep that guy in sight and run at him.
I like it. Then Thieneman, right? He's a safety in the defensive backfield. 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack on the year. He's a pretty versatile piece. He's not exactly like Isaac Gifford. He's a truer safety than Gifford is. But Purdue's not afraid to bring him back into the box. Maybe that changes with Antonio Stevens out today, the fellow starting safety. But Farley, both of these guys, we saw Notre Dame do this. We saw Oregon State do this. This is where we can bring in the Husker offense as well. Thieneman took some really bad angles the last couple weeks in tackling. Maybe he was just filling his gap and it was someone else's missed responsibility. But as I watched the game, I saw Thieneman whiffing multiple times, right? Maybe it was just Notre Dame's running backs and Oregon State's guys are that athletic and they, Thieneman made the right play. The running back and the quarterback maybe just made a better play. But I think you can attack Thieneman in the run game. He's not the biggest guy. I think his angles are off. And same with Jenkins. He's bigger, right? Pretty good size and movement for, who he is. But we saw running backs bounce it outside against both of those guys. Do you trust Nebraska's running backs, probably Dante Dowdell, Ramir Johnson behind him, and potentially Emmett Johnson, to be good enough to make those guys miss in space and turn a 3 or 4 yard gain into a first down and more?
Well, probably not Dowdell. Probably Dowdell is going to run at him and try to run him over since since he's a little, over pursuing on his tackles. But, I see a guy like Ramir and Emmett trying to, dazzle him. But a person like Dowdell is probably going to try to run him over and try to just keep run straight ahead at him like a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to see that part of it.
Dowdell last week against Illinois, Nebraska ran that same play, tried to isolate him against that play side defender one-on-one. He always tried to bounce it outside. Is that something Purdue saw in film? And if you're Dowdell, do you think that's the play design to always try to get outside? Or do you have to switch it up, take that one step inside to make the guy miss and then go up?
Well, he's going to have to try to do something different because he's on the crisp of a long run. And for him to be able to make that long run, he's going to have to angle himself back into the inside. I don't know why he always cuts to the outside, but if he ever changes his game running, it's all the thought process when he's running. It's how you feel comfortable. If he feels comfortable just keeping it to the outside or going back to the inside. So, he got to change it up, hit the inside, probably break for 70 yards. So something we've been looking for all this year, especially for us to get our first 100-yard rusher. We need that very bad today to get a guy to confidence.
Man, Purdue's given up like 250, 275 rushing yards on average the last 2 games. We had a question here from Mr. Cub on the text line. Will Nebraska actually truly commit to the run today? Do you see Nebraska having a run first game? Whether or not they should, do you actually see it happening?
I don't. And I say that because you have a quarterback who's doing good things this year. Offense is not built up to be a running offense. It's built up to be a passing offense. And you have to keep Dylan Raiola happy. I mean, that's one thing you have to do. And he's been very satisfied with the play calling this year. He's passing over 30 attempts a game. Rushing has really slacked off in the end of the games. Something I would like to see moving forward to keep pounding the ball and running the clock out. I think we should. I mean, and plus with the weather today, I don't know, the weather's up there. I think they say probably 50%.
It's overcast right now.
50%. But hey, whatever gets us the W, I don't care if it's passing or running. Just get the W.
Fair enough. Let's talk about Dylan Raiola here. His first road start, right? It seems like he's handled the home environment at Memorial Stadium pretty well. For all the hype around him, he hasn't gone overboard, I don't think. How have you seen him, manage expectations, manage his emotions, the team emotions, and what's it like being a freshman quarterback, in your first start on the road in a Big Ten conference game?
Well, he's been good this year. I mean, he's taking everything in stride. I mean, he's a kid that looked like he's been there before. He's leading the team out of the tunnel. He's the leader of the offense. The only concern I have with him is probably holding on to the ball a little better while he's back there scrambling, because it's just like you're holding it like a loaf of bread. It can come out easily. But he's doing the things, and I'm satisfied with his play. Couldn't ask for a better quarterback to be on the field right now. Just continue to do what he do and grow his game, and I think we'll be just fine in the future with him.
Who's a more important receiver today, Jamal Banks or Isaiah Nair?
I think they both are.
Okay.
I mean, I think that last week game showed us that we need those two on the field at the same time, especially the way they adjust their bodies to make catches, and especially the way Dylan feel comfortable just throwing the ball to them. I think the other guy, what's his name? The small guy, the freshman.
Barney, Jacoby Barney.
Yeah, Jacoby Barney plays a very good role in this offense as the third receiver. You also have options with the running back, Ramir, and the tight end. So we're in a good place in offense. We just got to get that. I mean, I just don't think Satterfield is a guy who's going to run the ball 50, 60 times a game. I think he's really going to be a 30-25 guy, 30 passes, 20 runs, 25 runs. We can see that because of the last 2 weeks of how our running game is just 12 carries from our main running back last week with 70 yards. And the other 2 was tapped down to 5, two carries. So, Satterfield is running the offense like he wants it. And so I have no issue as long as we just keep winning and plugging away.
And there's no substitute for a true run game, but I think that some of those jet sweeps that they'll run to Barnier, where like Janarin Bonner got his first touchdown, those are quick hitters that are essentially run plays, right?
Yeah. More like a Debo Samuels type kind of run, try to keep the defense on their heels. But, like I said, I mean, as long as, the offenses I think their true identity is they want to be a pass, but they also want to run. So we keep them honest. But I think this is the game for us to have a 100-yard rusher if we really pound the ball like we should.
That's fair. All right. I haven't given a score prediction. I haven't heard yours. What you got today, Farley?
42-10.
Woo!
42-10, Nebraska.
Okay.
I'll say that now.
We had someone on the text line during On the Block say that this is the week the Black Shirts really get exposed. They feel like it's a letdown spot for Nebraska, and they have Purdue 38-17.
Whoa, if that happens, ooh.
We're having a hell of a week in the ticket.
Yeah. The ticket's going to set some records every day.
This Purdue team is not as bad as some of the ones in the earlier mid-2010s. Mikey Mike says 30-20 Nebraska. I'm somewhere in the middle of those two predictions.
This team is not strong as Illinois. Illinois was able to beat us because they matched strength for strength with us. They big guys was stronger than our big guys, and it showed that in the fourth quarter when they was able to take over. Purdue is not that strong. I mean, I don't think they have the athletes to beat us. I don't think Ryan Walters has the team he wants yet. So, like I say, I don't know if he's going to have the time to get it like he wants it, but I don't think they're capable of beating us today.
That's fair. Mud Dog says 28-13. Big Red also asks, what is the offensive identity for this team? We've kind of talked about that throughout the week, and I think you just said it there again, Farley, is that Nebraska is going to pass first. Dylan Raiola seems to be the identity of this offense, and the run game is kind of the change-up. It's that we have to do this. We got to keep them, looking at this. Dante Dowdell can grow into that piece.
Yeah.
But I almost wonder if the coaching staff needs to see a little bit more from him in practice to get him up over that 20 carry mark consistently and give him a shot at a 100-yard game.
And it's because of Ramirez, too. He's a great back out of the backfield, and that's our third down back. And we'll have Dardell in the first two plays of the series, but we absolutely don't need them because they pass most of the time. So
right.
We're really every other down running team I see us as. But as long as if he could take that leap that we want him to take, then I think we'll be a true running team.
Fair enough. Crowbait sends in 34-24 Nebraska. I'm kind of in the range of I would like to see Nebraska get up close to 40 points. I just don't know if they do. So I think I'm in the 34 range. So I'm going to say 34-17 Nebraska. I think Purdue is able to get a touchdown early, maybe tack one on late. I just don't trust the defense to shut a team down. So I need to see the defense, take some offense no.
I'm going to send the guys some of my black shirt powers right now. I'm going to rub my elbows together and rub my stuff. Yeah, they have the black shirt power now.
Now they have it.
Yeah.
It's transported to West Lafayette. You heard it here first, folks. The black shirts got their power back, courtesy of our Hall of Famer, Terrell Farley. Keep your thoughts coming in here on the Starter Heyman text line and comment section, 402-464-5685. One more segment to go for the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Harrison, Chancellor, and my boy E. Strick coming up to wrap things up next.
It's the fall sports season, and that means that the school year is back in session, and you're planning road trips for Nebraska football games and following your kids around to their different events. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car struggling through another season. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Lake and find your next ride. As your fall schedule gets busy, you'll need a reliable way to get to your destinations. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Mindel Footwear is your solution against sore feet, blisters, and poor footing. Don't just take our word for it. Take it from Sip, who said he's never had a pair of boots more comfortable. You won't find Mindel Footwear in any store, sold exclusively at MindelUSA.com right out of Sidney, Nebraska. They're so confident you will enjoy the comfort their boots offer. If they don't work out for you, they'll cover the shipping to return them. Use code THETICKET for free shipping because your feet deserve a treat too. Mindel boots, just try them on.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best boxing on Saturday, October 5th with Roughnecks at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 8 bouts are scheduled for the night, including the main event of Dwayne Johnson and Jack Lawless Frericks in the professional middleweight championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the boxers and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mullen Motors.
All right, welcome in to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. This is the final segment before we're already up till kickoff. Again, this segment is sponsored by Mullen Motors. Get to Husker road games and youth sporting events safely this fall in a new ride from Mullen Motors just north of 48th in Layton in Lincoln. All right, for this final one, we got Chance of Brewington, the former Husker, to my left. We also got Stricky streaming in. Stricky, how's it going on this Husker football Saturday?
Going good this morning. Expectations for me are high in certain areas when I'm thinking about the game today. What I'm hoping to see, the the resilience that you're hoping to get out of this team, and hopefully seeing their bounce back and what that's going to look like, and see those areas be corrected as we continue to Big Ten play.
Absolutely. And I want to ask you this first, Stricky, because I've heard from Brewington and I get his answer a few times through the weeknights. But looking at Satterfield in this offense, Purdue susceptible to the run. We've seen that. Oregon State puts over 300 yards on the ground on him. But you also got a generational talent, quote unquote, in Dylan Raiola, who's played really well up to this point. You can nitpick the end of that Illinois game. You give credit for Illinois for sending pressure up the middle, knowing Dylan Raiola likes to step up into the pocket as opposed to scramble to the outside. I'm sure Purdue will try some of those things as well. But looking at Satterfield and looking at this offense, what kind of game plan do you expect to see?
Well, definitely a run game. I also think this is a great opportunity to put some tape on
Harburg?
Heinrich Harburg. Oh, gosh. It's morning. It's early here still. But golly. But yeah, put some tape on Harburg. Reason being is I think he should get a set or two. You know what I mean? I think with the run game, we know that Dylan can run read options, and he can run certain plays to where you don't just have to focus on the running back per se. But I think if you put him on tape, I think it's going to give people other things to think about and to consider, right? But I also think it shouldn't be something from a standpoint of just running the ball with Harburg. I think you give him a couple of shot plays. You know he's capable. You know he's capable with shot plays. You give him a couple shot plays. You give him a couple, like, for example, you give him a read option. I was talking with Austin on this yesterday. You give him a read option where you have Ja'Cory Barney on a jet motion, and he kind of hooks back behind, and then he gets to read that in, takes it off. I don't want Dylan taking these types of shots. You know, they're going to probably throw that at him for a defensive end, but I think Harvard's used to it. He loves contact and stuff like that. Then you've got another option with Ja'Cory Barney, and then drop something on him. That's how I'm thinking you got to be creative to get to the outside. They're not doing that right now. They're not figuring out ways to use the perimeter. They're not setting the edge. Chancellor would be able to talk really good about knowing how to set the edges. They haven't been very good at setting the edges. Now, they've been doing a lot of wham blocking, a lot of motion, kicking out the end. And there's terminology for that. I know Chancellor would definitely know, but they've been doing a lot of that, or also turning the motion guy up into the second level to get to a linebacker. They've been doing a lot of that. They've got to figure out other ways to block creatively and set those edges and be able to get guys on the outside. And then I also think I think the balance is still going to be good. I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to be probably around 55-45 like they've been doing. But I definitely think they need to give them a heavy dose of some run. But we'll see. We don't know how Satterfield is going to respond.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Brewington, talk about that, right? Yeah, the tight end.
Look at him. So, you see over there smiling. He's like, shit. I
don't know. That's the thing, though. I don't know how he's going to respond because, I mean, Rule came out and said, okay, Satterfield had a really good game. And I thought for the most part, I went out and said, he called a great game. I look back on the film a little bit. I'm like, okay, there's a couple of things like, why are we doing this, right? So how do you respond? And it's not only, and people talk about, how do the players respond when things are good? No, how do you respond as a coach when you quote unquote call a good game, right? And it was a pass heavy game, right? We really haven't seen Satterfield call a really good run heavy game. There's always like some question marks of, why do we start off with run the football good and then we stop second quarter, third quarter, then try to pick it back up fourth quarter?
Yeah, we saw the same thing last year, right?
Exactly.
We always talk about Emmett. We're going to probably talk about Emmett Johnson again.
And that goes right into my next point. I think whoever's managing the personnel on specifically for the running backs, because a lot of times it doesn't really have to do with the quote unquote running back coach. Usually it's a higher up saying, hey, I want him in the game, him in the game, him in the game. I think you start off with Dante. Second drive goes to Emmett, and Ramir Johnson is your filler guy. He gets a drive here and there. Dante gets tired. Ramir Johnson gets in there. Emmett Johnson gets tired. Ramir Johnson gets in there. So getting those guys involved, I think that's the key to this offense. And it's not. And I know you probably could have Dylan go throw for 350 yards and throw the ball 35 times. But for the longevity and for the Big Ten competition coming up, that won't be sustainable, and that won't be effective for this football team playing winning football with Dylan, throwing maybe a couple more passes than he should have, right? Mm-hmm. I think the bulk of it is establishing the run game early and putting pressure on this defense, because this is where their weakness is.
Yeah, I think around 25.
Yeah, real quick.
Go for it.
Go ahead. Finish that point, and I got one quick one. Go ahead. Finish that.
No, that's it. I just think around 25 throws attempts for Dylan Rail. I think that's probably a good number for him. I agree with you, Strick. I don't think we'll see too much of a difference from weeks prior in the balance between the run game and the pass game.
Yeah, no doubt. And here's, Chancellor, and you as well, Harrison, spoke about, Satterfield. I want to turn the tables. I want to throw it over to Coach White. Now, I understand, that Tommy Hill, is experiencing plantar fasciitis, and I've had that energy and that injury. And when I tell you that sucker is not fun to have, plantar fasciitis is it's not fun to have. There's treatments for it, better treatments now than even when it was available. Usually I had to just suck up and bear it. But there's some treatments out there now, but it's still going to take time. And I don't know if they, want to just remove him from that in that manner. Now, so when I look at the other side of the ball, it was shaky. It was real shaky to me. I was kind of surprised, that Coach White wasn't giving me a little extra, because Chancellor Altmaier, I'm talking about, I can count at least 5 to 8 times where Altmaier literally caught shotgun, looked, stepped, and threw on just quick out. And I'm talking about, and it was because the secondary was 8-10 yards off of him. And I'm like, what? And it's 3rd down and 6 or something like that. I'm like, why are we giving him so much room? Like, why aren't we even leveraging? Why aren't we forcing them to make throws? Like, I'm forcing Altmaier to make drop passes on deep routes. I want to force him to do that. I want to take away his lanes on the run. I don't think we did a good job at that. And so I want to turn the eye on him a little bit too, because I want to see a bounce back, because the game plan just didn't seem to work real well for me as far as on the defensive side. And I love Coach White. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the shift happened, and especially what you're talking about with the whole, letting these short hitches, these out routes, all these little things happen. Honestly, I think the point where they switched the game plan from a defensive back coverage standpoint, shell wise, I really think it's because Zaire Wright was in there, and I don't think they trusted him in man to man press man situation. So, I mean, if Tommy Hill can't go today, are you going to play that soft again, or are you going to finally trust your guy and say, hey, he's a Division I football player. I trust him to press. I trust him to play man to man, because I think, look at Illinois game. It looked like they didn't trust the DBs to play man at all. Was it because the receivers for Illinois were just they were good. Hyped them a little bit, because they were good, but I didn't think it was a team we needed to be scared of. We're gonna face those type of receivers are, everywhere in the dime a dozen. Dime a dozen. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, because you're going to run into more Pat Bryants out there.
Yeah, there's just wait till you play Jeremiah Smith with OSU. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to play those receivers every week now. Rutgers has good receivers. Indiana has good receivers. USC, UCLA, everyone has good receivers now. So you can't hide from playing man and if they get beat, they get beat. Like, so what? Okay, cool. We'll make an adjustment. But at some point, it looked like there wasn't a lot of adjustments, and it looked like I'll say this. It was not aggressive at all, the game plan against Illinois. So coming out against Purdue, you got to switch that up.
Yeah. With that,
come on, Chance. That's why I came on this show. To be with that guy right there. That's that right. Man right there. See, me and him, we here. You Harrison, I don't know where you at. Me and him, we here.
Well, I'm hitting the button, so you need me. You need me right now, whether you like it or not. You guys can always join in.
Good
Give me
stuff.
your thoughts as we're about 15 minutes away here from kickoff. YouTube, X, of course, Outlaw Channel 961, 402-464-5685. Get to some of these comments here. We got Jim very excited, wanting the halfback screen. Mikey Mike, this is a good point. This game will answer a lot of questions. Hope they answer the bell. Special teams alone scares me. And we have yet to talk about special teams. And it's important, right? Because we got Hole back there, Albano still not available. And you can make the argument that maybe you had a few games where it's a coin toss who won special teams. But other than that, it's been a coin toss where we've straight up lost in that phase of the game. How are you guys feeling about special teams? Leaky coverages, missed kicks. We got to get something going there.
Yeah, I got a scenario for Sticky. I got a scenario for Sticky. I want you to get your take on this. So I'm predicting this is going to happen first or second drive of the game, just because this is how just the world and the universe works. There's going to be a drive where we get down to the, opposing 35, 36 yard line, probably like 38. And it's going to be about 4th and 4, 4th and 3, 4th and 4. And it's going to be on the left hash. And Coach Rule's going to have a decision to make. Let's say on the 38, left hash, 4th and 4. Coach Rule's going to have a decision to make. Either we're going to put the ball in 15's hands, right? Or we're going to kick the football in chest hole. What do you do, Strickland, if you're Matt Rule?
At this time, I'm trying to take my team to the next level. I want their confidence to go through the roof. I'm going for it. And if I don't, then, I have a problem. I think I have a problem for the rest of the year. There's got to be a time when I'm going to take that shot. And no better time than that one. I feel you. And I hope your crystal ball is working today, because I'd like to see it happen.
Brewington, what decision would you make?
Oh yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I want to establish confidence, and I think the confidence, once you see like your head coach make a call like that, like a real ballsy call, you like, okay, yeah. I'm definitely, that fires the team up, right? And it gives a surge of confidence to the guys. And yeah, like you talked about, special teams, they need to pick it up. Bushini with the wrong direction kick, lack of coverage in the kick in the punt game.
We just got to kick him through the end zone too. That's the other part. We got to find a guy that kicked the damn ball through the end zone.
Yeah, well, you had Bushini kicking him off, right? And so, the kick coverage against Illinois was pretty good, but there's still been lapses in the kick coverage game. So just playing a sound special teams game, moving forward into Big Ten play, that would be so big for this team.
Yeah. And
here's something to keep an eye on too, because we do know that Corcoran's out, right? So now we're missing tackles, multiple tackles. So you're going to have to see how the lines go. This is one of the areas you were hoping was a strength, right? But now you're starting to have some fall off. And two veteran guys, you thought it was going to be a veteran team. Mazuka, we don't know fully what's wrong with him too, because Latovsky, I think, was in the game with him. So we're starting to have some issues there. I'm hoping that that's not a total drop off, because that's a key element for Nebraska's success as well as their line.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see this offensive line just play cleaner altogether. That second half in particular, it's like at some point you got to help out your freshman quarterback. Like, did he play it perfect at the very end there? Did he have some mental lapses? Yes, but it also, you're not doing him any favors when you're putting him behind the sticks, giving Illinois, letting them just pin their ears back and blitz, knowing that you got a long ways to go to move the chains. So I think with the offensive line, it's going to be interesting with all that movement going on, because there was a strength. You're looking at this heading into the year. It's like we got a bunch of juniors and seniors, guys who have started before. Ben Hart alone, he's got over 40 career starts at that position. So you're feeling good. And as it's gone on, we're kind of in that phase where we're moving guys around again, trying to get it to work. And unfortunately, penalties have reared their head. And as we get closer, maybe it's not Purdue, but certainly in that Illinois game, a few penalties makes a difference. When you get to these Big Ten schedule games, which I don't even want to overlook Purdue if it gets close, those penalties, those missed PATs, field goal kicks, those small things start to pile up. And that's how you end up not going bowling since 2016, because you let the tiny things add up, and you call it death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's kind of been the story of Nebraska football. None of it's looked horrible, but enough small things add up to lose games. That's kind of where my thought is with it. All right, we got 5 more minutes here. Brewington, You got anything to add to that before we start dialing up some predictions?
Yeah,
here?
I do. Prior to the season, I had Nebraska, and I believe me and Harrison both had Nebraska going 9-3. And I think that was pretty common. Some people had 8-4, 7-5, right? But above the 6-win mark, right? And so when I look at this game, this tells me a whole bunch. And I'm definitely not a guy to jump shift after, a whole, one loss against Illinois. That doesn't do it for me. And a lot of people are saying, oh, we were lucky to bowl, I think for this Nebraska football team and Coach Matt Rule and company, I think establishing dominance in this game, that you don't try to just win this game because you are just having talks of, going to the national championship playoff, right? And then all of a sudden you'll be lucky to go bowling, right? So I think right here is a game for dominance. You don't come out, try to win. You don't come out, first quarter, second quarter and play, scared, right? And your tail tucked between your legs. You lay everything out on the table. You make sure you establish dominance in this game.
Very good word to use. No passivity. Nothing passive. No running off the field. No running down on coverages. No discipline issues. Everything is focused. I just want to focus the whole day, whole game, and call it a day. Dominance is definitely another word that I would use. And then it's just, I agree with Chancellor as well. I'm saying anything less than 8-4. I'm with this schedule now. I'm saying with this schedule that I'm seeing, anything less than 8-4, I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling some kind of way about it, even though you're going bowling, right? To me, that's almost a miss. A 6 win is, I give it 2 thumbs down.
Yeah,
like that. 2 thumbs down. 6 wins. That's the way I'm feeling about it. I need 8. I'm not playing no games no more. We ain't talking just easing in through it. It isn't easy like Sunday morning. We ain't seeing like Lionel Richie and all that. No, we ain't doing none of that. We trying to get 8+ wins. Period.
That's why you got to watch the streams. You catch the extra antics. All right, running out of time here. Quick predictions. I think we do see a dominant version of Nebraska again. I'm going with what I had last week. 27-10, Nebraska pulls it out on the road.
That's not very dominant.
Dominant. It's for me. The defense shows up. If you don't need to, if the offense can, if the run game's really clicking and you're just milking clock and you got Purdue scrambling, you don't necessarily need to get a ton of points here. As long as the defense looks dominant, I'll feel good.
38-13.
38-13. Stricky, what do you got?
34-10.
34-10. Okay, so you guys are saying definitely dominant wins by Nebraska. That's going to wrap it up for us. Again, want to shout out our sponsor here, Mullen Motors. Be sure to check them out. Go get to Husker Road Games and youth sporting events safely this fall. New ride for Mullen Motors just north of 48th in Layton and Lincoln. Stricky, appreciate you joining us for the last segment of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. We got some college football on our airwaves coming up at 11 o'clock, but Huskers kick off in 8 minutes. First road game versus Purdue. Hopefully we can celebrate a Husker win for the post-game show as soon as the clock hits 0.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using